Well, I say Phoenix Wright got this part for what case, but we're not actually at that exact point yet. Also, thank you for the pat. Wi-Fi is crashing. Okay, that's fine. Oh. Hello, good evening. Welcome back to Ace Attorney. It can be Angle or Devil, but it's... I genuinely haven't figured out what this... These don't seem to work automatically anymore. Maybe I need to finally update what... I like every time it says, hey, there's a new version available, I've just been clicking it away. The reason I sound very alive, it's not that I'm not very alive, it's just that the roommate is not feeling very well, and she literally fell asleep minutes ago. She told me it's fine, you can stream, but I really don't want to wake up. So I'm trying. I'm trying to see. Like, she has headphones in and everything, but I'm always afraid I'm a little too loud. I am in fact feeling very alive. I finished reading a book today. So far, actually, ever since Wednesday. Since Wednesday last week, I finished at least one book every single day. The Sneaky Quiet Stream, yeah! The Sneaky Quiet Stream where I'm playing a visual novel where I have to read out everything myself. Let's not argue about... Okay, I don't actually count Phoenix Wright or the Ace Attorney games as visual novels technically. But you know, a lot of reading. What else? Good evening, how are you? I think... Yeah, since last Wednesday, I managed to read at least one full book. Yeah, it's just the whole, I don't know. Like, if someone told me to recommend them a pure visual novel, I would not recommend the Ace Attorney games. In my mind, they're more point-and-click type of games from what you do. Although obviously they very much are just a bunch of reading. Speaking of visual novels I would recommend though, I'm shilling this because we're gonna start it as soon as I'm done with this specific Ace Attorney as well. But the newest Studio LAN game, I don't know how to say that word, A Thight in Blood is releasing today in a few hours. So if you are in search of a new visual novel. I know it doesn't disqualify it, it's just whenever people who have clearly never really engaged with the visual novel in and of itself, I wouldn't recommend to them visual novels that feature a bunch of gameplay. Does that make sense? Also, thank you for the resub! 54 months, that's crazy, you're crazy. Me too. Me too. I'm also crazy, I guess, for doing this for such a long time. Nah. Let me shill the new Studio LAN game, even if we're not starting it. If I had planned this out better, we would have started the game, by the way. But it is releasing in like 2 or 3 hours, I think. True, I think more people have actually been in contact with visual novels without really being aware of what a visual novel is exactly. So in effect to be streamed, right? That's what I'm thinking. They're like, hey. I've known about the whole how far you're allowed to stream the game thing for a while, which is also why I haven't actually started streaming it. I would have been allowed to. Started a little early. As a Bellflower, we would have been allowed to stream the game a little early, but I was like, I don't want to start it too early and then I can't continue because I don't know how fast we would actually have gotten to Act 2. So now I'm like, okay, you know what, it's officially releasing today. I'm still not fully done with Apollo Justice. I'm thinking Apollo Justice might be 2 more streams. If not, at least 2 more streams. Like, this is the last case. It's gonna take a while. And by then, I can start a fighting blood and have no problem with the streaming restriction. Yeah, we started the last case last time and already found out, well, we just started the whole thing that it's actually Vera who's been forging the stuff, though we don't know much more than that, except she's just been called into court. And that's where we stop, because after this it's just gonna snowball basically. He's not streaming the game this week because of Upcut. Yeah. I think the only one who actually started it was Mari. I think everyone else, we were just like, oh, I'm gonna start it after Offkai because everyone else seems to be going to Offkai aside from me. And I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait so I don't have problems with how far we're allowed to go. But we'll have a look see. Let's see. Okay, I have everything I need. Defender lobby number 6. Yeah, there we go. Controller. Okay. So where exactly does this leave us, Apollo? That is a good question. I actually explained a bunch of Ace Attorney to my roommate yesterday because she has never played any of these games, so she only knows what I'm doing while I'm streaming the game. And I genuinely cannot fully remember how this case goes. Like, I've played it before years ago. I know the basic premise, but I do not remember. The Belfast are showcasing the games like it's like, oh, we're partners. We're allowed to show the game early? No. You have to wait. You have to wait until it fully releases and everyone needs to buy it. Also, I just realized this is not just a shadow. This goes a little further than it should on his arm here. Well, Drumishem, who was killed, wasn't Drumishem the Forger, basically. Well then, who was he? A guy. Well, he was actually... Oh, no, that's the part, okay. Doing her nails. So you really made those forgeries? The fact that there's no light in her eyes is so... Yes, for father. I know it was wrong. Could you tell us how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved painting ever since I was a child. One day, father saw it in me. He saw that I had the talent. Good evening! The background is not exactly the cutest. I mean, yeah, that's kind of, that comes with the territory of upgrading these games to release in HD. When the background stuff was made many years ago. The talent for making forgeries? How should I say it? It was not only paintings I made. Given the materials, I could make anything. Anything? Father was so proud and I so happy. Oh, this is a crying face. I kept thinking what this is supposed to be, but it's like this is one pupil, this is the crying, and then this is the mouth. I kept thinking like what kind of weird still drawing is this, and how does it make sense? But okay, just realized it's a crying face. As long as the characters blink with both. If you ever actually catch one of the sprites doing that, please don't mention it. Please don't. Just keep it to yourself. That is forbidden knowledge. I wish I could forget. But in the end, I was making those forgeries. I've never had a good constitution or personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. To be fair, if your father never is in contact with the outside world, how would you have come in contact with them? Now, because of me, father is. Do you know about this red envelope? I remember that envelope. It was some time ago. I'm mixing up her and Trucy's voice now. My bad. So you were already, you're already creating your works back then? I started when I was only 12 years old. So the one who figured out the stamp was poison, that was. Mr. Justice, it's time. To the courtroom, please. Right. Out of time. Wait, Vera, just one more thing, please. Those 3 paintings in the studio? I painted those as part of my work. Right. See, we checked them out and we saw what was underneath. We saw the rough sketches underneath the 3 finished paintings. I see. Mr. Justice. Yes? Father, he knew of you. Of both of you. Your late father? He was watching, gathering information. All about the right and co-law officers. But lately we're not doing just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse, and play piano. Oh, they're not really gags. Yet when father heard you had resumed the legal business. How pleased he was. Oh? Who was Mr. Mission? How am I supposed to know? What if he was Daddy's daddy? Judging from the relative ages involved, I'd say it's highly unlikely. Wait, how old was Drew Mission? They do anything. It's quick drawing. Like, if she... It would be easier if she just reused them, no? It's already confusing enough with all these daddies running around. Ah, I hate that I dislike the word so much. It's also why I cannot enjoy the old German dub for Little Mermaid anymore. Well, not as much anymore. We knew that the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for the case? Guess we're about to find out. Gonna be a while longer until we find out the truth, my guy. Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. How did you set up this Drew Mission Forger persona? Top, yeah. Yeah, it is! Oh, top! It was in second place earlier. Nice! Yes, staring at him. She's drilling more holes into his head. I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. What's hard? Very well, miss, if you would. Should get it. Should get it. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Perhaps you'd rather answer my question. Were you the one who painted that painting? The remarkably similar one? Yes. I painted it, yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So, she was the one who made the forgeries. Christian Boys Games doesn't play them. Ooh. See, I like to go with the whole, if I finish X and Y amount of games, then I allow myself to buy a new game. technically I say that, and then there's a sale going on, then I get a bunch more than intended anyway. But I'd like to pretend I adhere to that. Do it because it's Pride Month and it's a Yuri game. Do it for the sapphics, do it for the lesbians. I don't actually know. You know, just say it's good for Pride Month. Yes, she did not wish to reveal the truth of their collection, but the victim was a stand-in, a decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I have, haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information. About, for instance, this. You've seen this before, yeah? Yes, it was in a desk drawer. Very well, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. Oh yeah. To buy more books instead of games for your future library. No, see, I'm trying to do the same thing with my books and I'm kind of succeeding with the book thing. Like, I didn't bring all of my books from home to the apartment because there's no way. Like, frankly, if I put all of the books I own in this apartment, there would be no place left to live, basically. So what I'm doing is I take a smaller amount and make it my goal to read through them until the next time I go home to visit my parents and then exchange them for another set of books. Remember my goal of reading 365 manga volumes that I own? This year I am not up to speed because I only started in March, I think. But I'm at 107 volumes at this point. So I'm not doing too shabby, I think. I also finally finished a bunch of series that I've had lying around for years. So with book buying, I'm also doing better because I write down books that sound interesting and then I try to check in with my libraries, see if they have them. And thank you for the fan. And then make it. I'm doing better at it, I think. To be fair, the whole I don't have a job, I don't have a monetary income thing is also obviously helping with not spending as much money if you don't have any. I created things and Father sold them. This envelope came after my first work. I was added than a payment. Father handled the deal, all of it. I received a stamp that was in that envelope. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. Ah, well, yeah, you got a lot of money for that job, huh? There certainly was much of great interest in your testimony. Not that the witness realizes it. Very well, please begin the cross-examination. Right, okay. I need more information about this forger. It's through mission. Well, let's just press absolutely everything. So these things you were making, you mean paintings identical to other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier Father was. I was happy too. Still, you're quite young now. When did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. Your Honor, she had no idea what she was doing, was it? Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. True. Please tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. That's not very nice to say. The sales going on doesn't usually big sales, can just be random weekend sale or something. True, but I've made it a kind of like depending on the price of the game. Like if it's a bigger title that's like upwards of 40, 50, whatever, then I only buy them if they're like on really big sales, like at least half off. At least half off, if not like something along the 70% off. If it's smaller games where it's like, okay, you know what, this is an indie title and it costs like $5 and it's $5, whatever. But for the bigger titles, I do not buy games at full price. Unless it's an exception. Like, I mean, I got Fantasy Life for full price, for example, but I try to limit those kind of things. By other than a painting, you mean you'd only done paintings up to that point? Yes. My father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance? For instance, a letter someone had written, or a fingerprint left upon a cup, or a signature on a document, a seal upon a letter. None of this makes it sound very innocent at all. And the $100,000 promised in his letter was the start. The beginning of a new industry for Drew Mission. A new industry? The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Forging evidence, in other words. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So you didn't know how the things you were making were being used. I enjoy painting very much. I think I understand. The foreigners lived in an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp. This is a rather important matter. Give your answer some thought. And if I find a game that's fantasy. True! Wasn't Yumiya, or is it, still on sale right now? But even then I'm like, no, because I'm not actually up to that game anyway, and by the time I actually get around to it, it's gonna have gone on sale again. Or more like, by the time I actually get around to Atelier Yumiya, there's gonna be another 2 Atelier games out at least. It's already, like, half the year's already over and we haven't even started an Atelier game yet, so... You still have Riser to finish, yeah. I need to put a little more energy into Yakuza, into Infinite Wealth, and then I'll do Sophie, I think. Sophie 2. I've kept saying this for months, but... What do you mean you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use that stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison, on the back, at your knee. A moment, Herr Forehead. You can't force an answer upon the witness. Now then, perhaps you would tell me, Fräulein Wähler. Why did you receive this stamp? It's interesting. She only has a light in her eyes on that spray. Something wrong. It was beautiful. The rodent infestation. You mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. So you didn't know about the poison? Oh, that's a new one. I guess not. So the trap failed by chance, by mistake, thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite a close call. Was that the job that you moved to the place? Okay. You mean you moved to where the current Drew studio is? Yes, we saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. A single drop had tied him to the criminal underworld. I think Mr. Mission wished to reduce the visibility in the world at large. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father as the creator of the work. So that was the real essence of the artist's true mission. You did the work and he supplied the face. On both sides of the paper. True! So you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. Apparently not. All of my voices sound the same today, sorry. I put this commemorative stamp. Could you tell us more about it? It was very pretty, and more than that, yes. It was a picture of people I liked at the time. This is something new. Apparently we've got some cross-examination yet ahead of us. If you would be so kind as to continue your testimony following. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Ah, your favorite magicians. These, maybe.
Objection!
Those magicians you liked. Was it this bunch? Apparently they're not a bunch. I see. Still, I have to wonder, why include a commemorative stamp like that in a business letter? Good question. Look, pretty stamps are always better, and you can't beat true grammar. They have to be pretty important. Not pretty, no, what's the word? Not important. Well known. To get an entire stamp dedicated to them, though. The whole murder plan was a failure because of it. Ironic, don't you think? Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin? Oh. Ramaye, why are you sweating? What's with Gavin? Might I ask just one question of this witness? In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work that was other than a paint. Please tell me, what exactly did you make? Can I ask why? No. Answer the question. Now. Jesus Christ, my guy. Prosecutor Gavin. You're usually not the one whose volume concerns me. Yes, it is unbecoming of me. I apologize. But I must know. Please, Miss Michelle, tell me. It was a book. A single page in a book. Book? Please be more specific. It was a handwritten book? Like a diary? Yeah. Where we stopped yesterday was a very good idea. Imagine stopping after what's gonna happen now. What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Was there a picture of a silk cat on the back cover? Yes or no? How did you know?
Objection!
Prosecutor Gavin, the defendant is answering all of your questions. Stop badgering her. He's told you nothing, has he? Your soiled, sullied mentor, nothing. Sullied? Who? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Daddy. He never told you about the trial 7 years ago? About how he came to lose his attorney's badge? There was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know. A certain diary. On the back, it bore the mark of a silk hat. What? Phoenix Wright tossed out of the profession by false evidence, and the forger made that evidence. Is this girl standing right in front of me? Vera, you must tell us. The evidence you made was used in a trial 7 years ago. Who asked Remisham, you, to forge that evidence? For all of our sakes, who was it? We only met once. You met the client? Oh, who was it? It was... What's going on with Vera? She's staring at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Yes, what? Is there something about me? I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book, the diary. Who was it? Yeah. The devil. It's slowly starting to come back to me, this entire trial. Even in Vera Misham, condition unconscious. Examiner's diagnosis, acute atroquinine poisoning. This ends the recording of the trial for the murder of Vera Misham. Vera Misham was, during the trial, poisoned by an unknown assailant. The doses was just under the lethal amount, sparing the defendant's life. She is currently in intensive care and is not to be disturbed for any reason. A very simple case, at first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. The long road to the truth takes us to the record of another trial. In some ways, that was the starting point of it all. And that is where we must go. Find the whole truth. I think Claudia with the short hair looks really good. I wish she kept it. It also makes him look way different than his brother. I don't like how similar they look. But I also don't like his brother very much. Showdown time. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I've played for a long time. And only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. Well, it seems I found the partner I've been looking for all along. Over a game of cards. Why, yes, over a game of cards. That was how we first met 7 years ago. Oh, come on, really? 7 years earlier, Phoenix Wright's final trial. Oopsie. Okay, it's been a long time since I felt like such a rookie. Also, the first time we actually get to play as Phoenix in this game. Which is interesting. Thank you. I tried. As well, but it didn't work. Got to try and relax. Morning, Mr. Enigma. I'm sorry to respond this on you so suddenly. I received the first from my previous attorney only yesterday. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared. I understand I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened here. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Actually, it wasn't. Trust me. Here she is. Good morning, Daddy. I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? They're picking on you? I'm fine, as always. This old boy here is here to help me after all. This young man too. Good morning. That's a cute outfit you have on. Oh wait, we can look at the crime scene photo already. Oh, that's... Okay. Single gunshot to the head, estimated time of death 11 to 11:30. Blood from bullet wound. Malignant tumor found in victim's liver. Magnifique Amélie. Shadi Enigma. Client in this case usually goes by stage name Zach Ramaye. 40. Magnifique Amélie. Victim in this case died after being shot in the head while in the hospital. What's going on with your hair?
Thanks, my first show is today after all.
Oh, I'm sure it is. What the heck is she talking about?
Oh boy.
Oh, me. Look where he started.
Here.
These fates club will make me wait a little longer, at least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. All those who have supported me on nice work, I give thanks. Farewell. Oh, what's this?
I don't know, I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in a blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important.
So, is a memo for you or some such? It's sticking in and out of his nose. It is. That's exactly what it looks like. Not from the looks of it. What is this? Looks like a page from someone's diary. I'll give it a read later. Well, how do you feel about the trial today? We'll get through it, somehow. Incidentally, the prosecutor today is a new guy, I hear. An easy win then, yes. They're calling him a true thoroughbred in the history of the prosecutor's office. Of course, there's one of those every year. Switching of attorneys just before the trial. I know it is a difficult situation I put you in. But allow me to say one thing, Mr. Wright. Yes? They will not be able to pronounce me guilty today. Do your best, but do not worry. First time a defendant's ever given me a pep speech. I'll do what I can. I see you do not understand. You see, it will be impossible for them to declare a verdict. Impossible? Yes. Isn't that right, Trucy?
Yep, you bet, Daddy.
My first look at the case was only yesterday, and the information I was given was a tad bit lacking, to be honest. Still, I'll do what I can, for their sake. I believe the curtains will be lifting any time now. I'm in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. My client is Shadi Enigma, known to the world as Zach Gramaye, a widely popular magician, star of True Gramaye. His mentor, Magnifique Gramaye, was a rare breed of magician. He single-handedly ushered in a golden age of stage magic, till he was shot dead, and Zach Gramaye is the suspect. Court is now in session for the trial of Shadi Enigma and see... Court. The judge still looks the same as always. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Is the prosecution ready? I was just thinking, is this what all of us is about? Bit of a buzzkill, really. Buzzkill? Is this some kind of new... is this some new kind of crime? One of the worst. This is a trial, yeah? Where are the sweaty palms, the pounding hearts? The Gavinus concert's got 10 times the thrill this gig's got. Who were you again? Clavier Gavin. I came to get the party started. Legally, yeah? Gavin. Defense attorney Christoph Gavins. Ah, figures my bro's more famous in this part of town. Clavier Gavin. Lead singer for the mega hit band The Gavinus. You're out of your league, Rob boy. Chain looks pretty heavy. He has the Gavinus logo on everything. It's crazy. I know what you're thinking. You're out of your league, rock boy. True, my debut single, 30 Years Hard Time for Love, went platinum overnight. But that's just a hobby to me compared to this, yeah? Talkative, aren't you? I like your affected Euro rock accent, by the way. I'm just getting warmed up here, Tony, right? Oh yeah, is he actually German or is it just like something he does for fun? I don't remember if that's like a canon thing or just something fandom has adopted. Perhaps you'd be so kind as to fill us in on the case. Achtung, baby, time to call on the opening act. What was his name again? Ah, yes, Detective Gumshoe! Hit it! And you are? You are the one who called me up here, sir. Name's Dick Gumshoe. I'm a homicide detective down at the precinct. Gumshoe, long time no see. Hey, you. Huh? Me? Today's the day, pal. Today I win and you lose. I have confidence in my testimony today, see? Oh. What, you normally lack confidence in your testimony? A detective, this is my stage. Can the antics. Oh. All this hey youing and such. And I could care less about your history together. Oh. New prosecutor, and Gumshoe still gets the short end of the stick. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, if you would, please tell us about the case at hand. It happened 6 days back in a room at the General Hospital. The facts are simple as they come. Here's the crime scene. The victim was a patient asleep in a hospital bed. The killer comes in, puts a pistol to his forehead, and bam, lights out. Them's the facts. Right, and then the killer leaves the very suspicious gun there, and also the puppet in the background also has a gunshot in it for whatever reason. Not so long ago, the victim Magnifique Garmier was a famous man. He had the entire country under his magical spell, as it were. Yes, the great magician. He retired years ago, though. Say the name Magnifique to one of my generation and you'd be lucky to get a blank stare. Yes, though I'm sure the youngsters today know his disciples even better. I dare say Troupe Garmier has made quite a name for themselves. Something about Gumshoe's sprite looks off here. With the shadows in his face, I don't know. Anyhow, the retired Magnifique's been in the hospital for the last year. What was it? A mal-ignorant tutor or something. Doing something to his liver, I think. Yeah. A malignant tumor, perhaps. In other words, he had liver cancer. He had only 3 months left to live, in fact. Oh, 3 months. The facts do seem simple enough, but something's not right. The victim was already climbing a 3-month stairway to heaven. Why not wait for him to knock 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 on heaven's door? Why shoot him? I wouldn't have put it quite so lyrically, but it's true. Why make the effort to commit murder when the victim was about to die? Incidentally, the victim had a serious case of diabetes. Oh, diabetes. In fact, he was about to shoot up with insulin when he was shot with a pistol. The syringe was found at the crime scene. Chronic diabetes and cancer. As much as it pains me to say it, the victim was clearly at the end of his life. His abortion shows no sign of use. I believe the question before us is clear then. Why did the killer have to shoot this dying man? What reason could he have had? Very well, Detective. Perhaps you can enlighten us as to the circumstances of the shooting. Yes, sir. Actually, the victim kind of ordered the defendant to do him in. A few days before it happened, the victim sent a letter ordering his own murder. What? The defendant did what was asked of him and shot the old man in the forehead. The bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene, no doubt about it. And the pistol definitely belonged to the old man, sir. Okay. What? You're saying the victim ordered his own shooting? Those are the facts. I have here the letter in question. My beloved student Zach, to you I entrust the task of lowering my life's curtain. Come on the 13th. Hey! Come on the 13th, 11:05 p.m. I will ready a gun with which you will shoot 1 shot square in the forehead. You cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. To my beloved student. That doesn't sound like you're asking someone you would call your beloved student. Very unusual indeed. Although, could such a thing as a letter really cause one to pull a trigger, I wonder. I believe the answer to the question can be found at the end of the letter. Ah, you cannot refuse, and we both know the reason why. Detective Gumshoe, can you explain this to the court? Unfortunately, even the defendant won't say a peep about that bit, sir. One thing bothers me about this. Why didn't he just say 11? Why have him come at 11:05 without some specific reason? The devil's in the details, Herr Attorney. Well, was there some reason? As it turns out, there was. Every night for a half hour starting at 11, the victim, Magnifica Meili, was given an IV. An IV? There it is in a picture off to the side of the bed. At 11, a doctor would come to set up the IV. 30 minutes later, he would come back for the empty bag. This happened every night without fail. So that was the only time they could meet without the chance of an untimely interruption. During his IV. He could still have gotten interrupted while he's getting the IV, but okay, I'll take it. Very well, shall we begin? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will. What's this reason he couldn't refuse, I wonder? Could have at least mentioned it to me. Yeah. Would be nice if we knew anything about our defendants before we actually go into the courtroom, right? But that's too easy. How can you be so sure? Hey, you gotta learn to stop relying on people to do your thinking for you, pal. Learn to think for yourself, get a noggin cracking. You failed to grasp the concept of questioning, detective. First, we got this letter. It says shoot in the forehead loud and clear. I can see that, but I still wouldn't do it. Well, maybe you need to grow yourself a backbone, pal. You failed to grasp the concept of shooting people is bad, detective. We also found the defendant's pistol at the scene. Traces of gunpowder residue shows that it had been fired recently. Well, Mr. Wright. As far as I can tell from looking at this photo, there seems to be no issue with the prosecution's claim. The photo, maybe there's something in there I can use. I mean, yes, obviously there is. They're saying the defendant shot the victim in the forehead. I think there's a hole in the prosecution's argument. Clearly Mr. Enigma shot something else. Looking at this photo, another possibility occurs to me. Yes? What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes. Bingo, pal. That's why the defendant popped him one in the forehead. Oh, the defense disagrees. You see, the defendant had another choice he could make. What? And you can prove that with this photo? I can prove he had a choice, yes. The defendant might have fired like he was ordered, but he didn't shoot the victim's forehead. Well, let's hear what you're thinking, Mr. Wright. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot? Clown with the giant hole. Clown doll. Take a closer look, see? It's been shot in the forehead too. There's a hole in its forehead. Yes, and a hole in the prosecution's claim. Ooh. And I suppose you have a reason as to why he'd shoot the clown doll. He didn't just shoot the doll, he shot the doll's forehead. His forehead? Let's read the orders once more, shall we? You will shoot one shot square in the forehead. Which is exactly what he did. He shot the clown doll square in the forehead. Defense has raised an intriguing possibility. The hole in the clown's forehead. It definitely looks like it was shot. Bailiff, send someone to investigate this matter. I admit I'm impressed, but I expected nothing less. Still, this doesn't mean he didn't shoot the victim. Perhaps he did have to shoot a forehead as ordered. The letter says nothing about whose forehead. This was the only way he had to follow his orders without taking a lap. The bullet hole in the clown doll's forehead does demand an explanation. It might very well be a clue, yet Prosecutor Gavin is right. It alone does not prove the defendant's innocence. You cannot say for sure the defendant didn't shoot the victim. So sorry, Mr. Wright. How sad it is to see the mighty fall. We literally just got started, my guy. How sad it is to see the novice's overconfidence. He doesn't realize just how big this little hole is going to get. Detective Akashio, please take this newfound fact into account as you continue your testimony. Bullet was fired from the pistol found at the scene of the other. Do you have proof? Like, marks? You mean this pistol, the one in the crime scene photo? That's the one. It's a funny looking gun, so there's no mistaking it. He compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from his gun. The rifle marks on the bullets were a perfect match. Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. So, you verified the murder weapon, in other words. You bet we did. Oh, wait, did you also check if the bullet in the... Okay. Why are you so certain? What pile of sand has your head been stuck in all this time, pal? You never heard of Zack and Valen's trick door shooting? Huh? What's that? One of the defendant's specialties. Zack and Valen stand on either side of the girl. Then they shoot. But the bullets don't hit her. Instead, they hit everything else on stage. This was one of the pistols they used in their show. Got a great design, huh? Kids love it. Many boys and girls joined the police because of that pistol, I hear. You know, that would explain a lot about the police. I'm glad you stopped doing that act a while ago. The old man held onto the pistol ever since. Interesting. The court would like to see the pistol in question. You got it, sir. Here she is. Well, this truly is a blast from the past. It's a stage pistol for magic shows, see? But it can fire real bullets. It looks so much bigger in real life than on TV. Yeah, but it can only hold one round. By the way, the pistol's firing chamber is empty. And it shows traces of having been fired recently. So, any fingerprints found on the gun? Unfortunately, no. Of course not. Of course the defendant is known for wearing gloves. We might say that the lack of fingerprints is, in fact, a fingerprint of its own. Aha! Intriguing point, well made. Whoa, not well made, not intriguing. In any case, the court accepts this evidence. Thank you. Baron Max Watchman, no fingerprints. My grandchild will get a kick out of seeing this. But now it's time to return to our testimony. So what if he shot the clown, he still shot the victim pal? Did he do? Objection! The trickiest cases often seem the simplest. Prosecutor Gavin, you missed a bullet hole in a clown's forehead. If you hadn't missed that, you might have come to a very different conclusion. Understand? Yeah, but like I just said, pal. After he shot the clown in the forehead, he went in... Did nothing of the sort to the victim. The pistol proves he couldn't. The murder weapon? How? It's quite simple, Your Honor. His pistol only holds one bullet at a time. If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he wouldn't have shot the victim too. Objection! That's not a contradiction, not even close. All he had to do was reload the pistol after the first shot. Oh, why did he get the extra bullet? They're not so easy to come by, you know. If you claim the defendant had one weapon, then prove to us how he got it. I had a feeling this wasn't over yet. No, this part is just getting started. And I haven't proven anything yet beyond my good looks and startling record sales. Oh my god. He's how old in this case? Like 17? An utter lack of humility. What's this? It seems that the prosecution has another witness prepared. Like I said, the detective was just a warm-up act. As he always does. Now that the audience has gotten a taste of what's to come, they're ready. Ready for what? For my decisive witness, of course. A witness who, you will find, can prove one thing for us. That it was Zach Ramaye who shot the victim in the forehead. Very well. We will pause for 15-minute recess. This might be my lucky break. I'll need that 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach. Court is adjourned.
To be continued.
I will take this chance and also get a drink. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say I expected nothing less. We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Well, you discovered the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. The night in the hospital, what really happened? Ah, where your eyes gleam, Mr. Ray. I'm scared Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? You've seen it probably yourself, the letter. The one shot in the forehead. One, right? Yes, and the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say, for now, at least. This is for now business. I've done many things in my life, some well, some poorly. But this is a cross we must bear along to our graves. Really? You wanted to know about the night of the incident. Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. And found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. 2? Yes, the one I had used on stage. And the one I had been used by my partner, Valent. Oh, for the Zack and Valent's quick draw thing. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breathing. Then I took the pistol into my hands. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then, for a moment. You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first. So, there were other requests you couldn't refuse before? To be honest, I've not always been steadfast, and I fear I've brought pain upon Trucy. Was it Magnifique cursing his disciples somehow? Just what was going on in True Grammar Year? That's a very good question. Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks. Yes, well, that is all I have to tell you concerning the case. Concerning the case? Do you mean there's something else you could tell me? No, you're a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks? Yes, there's something. My mentor, his eyes opened. What? Magnifique Maillet? The old devil. He was not asleep, you see. Of course, the gunshot would have woken him anyway. And now we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. What did you talk about? Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. It's like Grandma here. He seems pretty steadfast to me, or maybe just stubborn. Mr. Wright, presence is requested in the courtroom. Once again, I am in your hands. Let's get back in there. Court is now back in session. During our recess, a bullet was found in and dug out from the clown's head. Oh, this is news. And the rifling marks? There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon. Well, that's not very conclusive, is it? Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. You decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Although boy on my account, I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he's intimately acquainted with the players in our little production, being the other half of True Grandma Year's famous duo, Zack and Valen. I like Grandma Year. So we get to meet the great Magnifi's other disciple. I prefer his face when he's a little older. To this one. Perhaps we'll start by asking your name and occupation. Valen Grandma Year. Magician. And you're the decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student, your partner's guilt. Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. Wait, the shooting took place in a hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes. Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? Wouldn't be an Ace Attorney game without it. I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this. That looks very familiar. Wait. That's the same letter Zack Grandma Year received. Almost. They were both called in. Yes, or perhaps I should say ta-da! Maybe you shouldn't say anything. And what does it say? Surely not the same thing. Perhaps you should see for yourself. At 11:20. It's practically the same. The court accepts this into evidence. This is most unusual. Exactly what was going on with you folks? What exactly was your True Grandma Year up to? By which you mean? I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less. It's just my opinion, Herr Judge, but from these letters, I'd say he was coercing them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together, and in so doing shared much of our lives. When people are so close, they strain, a warping of relations, you might say. Yet, this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not going to tell us? Which makes me wonder even more about this reason they couldn't refuse. Well, let's get on with the testimony for starters. The defendant Zack Grandma Year stands accused. Tell us why. I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red roses rise singing hymns to the miracle that is magic. Whatever the fuck that means. Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as the suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and now the 2 bullets found at the scene. In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time. As every magician knows, timing is everything. Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up. That night I visited the hospital room at the time Magnifi requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and Memento had taken his final blow. Whoa. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss I gave to the clown. Then I informed the doctor and the police. You find your mentor dead, and before informing the police, you shoot the clown? I find that hard to believe. So you were the one who reported the crime? Indeed, I would think this fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Yes, cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant Zach Gramayer is guilty. And if it wasn't Zach Gramayer, then the killer was you, Valent. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Ooh. The worst part is, we do know that something is gonna go wrong. The only reason we're here, the 7 years ago, is because it's going to tie into everything else that happened in the current timeline, right? So it's like, this seems to be going well for Phoenix, so how is this the one that made him lose his badge? There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zach has said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. I better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene, namely... How many pistols? How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what, precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zack and Valent quick draw shooting, correct? 1 for each of you. You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in a hospital room that night. Did Zack tell me back in the lobby? He took his with him. That's what he said. I see no problem with that statement. Only 1 pistol is visible in the photograph of the crime scene I found. So you picked up the pistol and fired it? Indeed I did. Alakazam, alakazing, alakaboom. Except the trifling marks of this specific pistol are not gonna fit with the one with the hole in the clown. We already know that this specific one fits the murder weapon. Is the number of pistols really so important? Yup. The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do by the way? Only 1 pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it, I shot the clown. Yeah, I think you're fucking lying. Objection! According to the defendant Zach Gramayer, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on a table. Ooh. One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Valent has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. Mr. Valent, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. This is all rather sudden. What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin. I would accord an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proved the type of gun that fired them. Ah, come on. But that's not what you told us before. You said you'd verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? It was 5 minutes ago. Just this morning. I'm still young. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now. Valan Gramaye. Yes, Your Honor. You are presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive.
Objection!
You'll see in time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next. Had to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin. When Mr. Valent entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, right, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it. Ooh, see, that's the nice part about playing Phoenix here or seeing Phoenix. You can see that he's grown more comfortable as a lawyer than when we played him back then, when he was a rookie and just starting out. Very well, the witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what. I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20. You gotta get to work tomorrow, you do that. Have a good night now. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And the one in the room at the time was my partner, not me. Those times are rather close, you have to admit. You're talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes. You use a 10-minute discrepancy as the basis of your alibi. It's easy to explain in this situation, Herr Judge. For example, take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Use the song, press the play button, and it will play for 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Do that 100 times, the result is the same. The debut single was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long? What a rip-off! Magic is a world of utmost precision. Hocus Pocus requires admirable focus. And in the time of death determined by the doctor, there is an incontrovertible truth. Very well. The prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times. And we can expect the cross-examination to require the same level of precision. I would hope the defense refrains from its customarily broad, sweeping accusations. Lest we blur the focus this case so clearly demands. Point taken. Ace's remarks will result in a penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright. Carry on, right. To be fair, I don't think we usually make mistakes in these games because we've played them before. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise at the time? We do usually only get an estimated time of death, true. I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time of death. Magic revels in making the complex appear simple, but reality is the opposite. What appears complex, in this case, is a simple matter of subtraction. I see, another person has done the arithmetic homework. The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene. Recall what we heard earlier about the victim Magnifi Gramaye's schedule. Every night at 11, Magnifi took an IV drip for 30 minutes. I can see the IV bag right there, yes. Now look a little closer, follow the tube down from the back to the end. The needle's been removed. Doubtlessly it fell out when he was shot. That would seem to be the case. When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. You could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions, for our purposes, as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determined the time of death. From the amount remaining in the bag, it was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began. And so it was, when I, Valent, entered our room. 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof. Well, Mr. Wright. Did that seem important? Yes. Half the time, when it's like, when the game asks you if something is important or if you want it added to the testimony, it's like, yeah, duh. That's why I'm asking. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine a time. Behold the power of arithmetic. Very well. The witness will add this detail to his testimony. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. The truth! The water of life springs not eternal, the remaining IV liquid proves my innocence. Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance? When first I entered that room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead. And then his left arm that I spy arose, drooping and wilted. It's the one that discarded IV needle. Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot, luckily for you. If that IV had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably. Oh, I hate that word. So, I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect's up. What always without fail brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valor won the first Magician's Grand Prix. Yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians. I was adorned in this attire then too, and our trophy? A bust. What a day that was. Just one trip down memory lane no one needs. My lucky color, yes indeed, and that IV too. I say, I think it was suited especially for me, Valor. That does seem to be the case indeed. That looks green to me. Like, okay. What? The color of the liquid is yellow, but it's in a blue bag? Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on his testimony? Alan sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? It certainly sounds like your lucky colors brought you plenty of luck. But not this time. Mr. Valent, your lucky colors betrayed you. I'm afraid you've lost me. Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence. What? Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Baseless accusations will be duly penalized. Whatever. I do hope this latest accusation is well-based. No worry, I've got all your bases right here. Where's the evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valent has told us? In the crime scene photo. Oopsie. The crime scene tells all, Your Honor. Photo of the crime scene. All the stock of color has me yearning for black and white, clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, alright, just where's the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure. And I assure you, it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What in this photo contradicts the witness's testimony? The IV bag itself. Valent Grandmaier, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kind of takes the mystery out of it, but yes. Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright? Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene. Sis? Confusion, doubt. Tell us, what do your elderly eyes spy? Even my elderly eyes can see a problem here, Mr. Valent. Look at that IV bag. What is this? What foul magic? It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow, and I'm afraid no magic was involved in the taking of this photograph. Well, what does this mean? Is this some kind of mistake? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin, your witness's mistake. The greener they are, the harder they fall. I suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valegrama Ye, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not. Well, this contradiction can mean only one thing. And to think you almost had me. I see your true colors now, Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness's testimony does contradict the evidence. Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree, at a glance the IV liquid does appear sort of greenish yellow. But I assure you the liquid itself is quite yellow. Yeah, but you wouldn't know. Yellow liquid? How can you say that? As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green. Yes, but what color is the IV bag itself? The bag? You mean a plastic bag on a hook? It looks like a... I want to say light blue. Precisely. Figured it out yet. Put a yellow liquid in a blue bag and... you get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color. I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it. No one in their right mind would say it's yellow. As I thought, there's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave, for you, that is. Grave? The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes. But how did this witness know that? It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? Like a zoo, my god! Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV liquid, so I'm sure it means something, but what? I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valengram here, has testified that the IV liquid was yellow because he'd seen it before. From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before. And not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear color in this bag. I suppose he would have had to, but I'm still not clear as to what all this means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at a hospital? That's where you find your meaning, Jan. I'm afraid I've heard nothing. So what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Leave the getting inside over absolutely nothing to our teeny bopper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. Also, what the fuck do you mean, teeny bopper fans? You are 17 at this point in time, my guy. You're still a teen. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. You claim, Prosecutor Gavin. I remember it well. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. Wait, I know. An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I'm right? As much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sands through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body. At which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, have I? You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow.
No, wait, I said wait. How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task? I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat? He has a point, amateurs. I, at least, will have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag. You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw off the time of death. I tire of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wade, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth? Well, Grandma Ye, I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in a life of crime. You might ask what you're strongly suggesting. Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic. And the prop was... the victim's syringe! It's a perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick. And easy enough for an amateur to use. What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Well, Vanagramini, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect one that you could manipulate at will. Oh, like exactly. How many bunnies do you think he has on him? Going by the sprite work. I do believe, well, with this being his first, the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that while there is a doubt as to the amount of IV liquid in our bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much needed investigation work. I see there are no objections. Court is adjourned. Surely, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young and they'll sweep your feet out from under you. In a way you never ever expected.
Thank you for that good time. And the fan. The yarn shop.
You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. Talking about. You said a witness used a syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid. But there's no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? He's admitting it. Nor was his witness quite as decisive as I'd hoped. Yes, I admit. After all, whiling in the past when the future holds so much. You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin? Proof, Head Judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence, no less.
See, you know what we need? What we need is to add more quotes to the quote board.
What's this? This is the victim Magnifica Maillet's diary. Diary? After going into the hospital, Magnifi began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end quite appropriately with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the AV had begun at 11 PM. Let's read it, shall we? Nice AV's in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first will come soon. This journal may end here and may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. All that's left... What? All that is left to mine is... I can't read it.
This does appear to have been written just before his death. All that's left is mine to lay down the pen. What do we have on our mysterious page? The court accepts this into evidence. Read the very last part with particular care. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long, that depends on his hand. Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Zack Gramaye. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor, after all. But look at what he said before that. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Magnifique Gramaye intended to write again. That is, if Zack Gramaye didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on, it ends. Because Magnifique's life was brought to an end by the defendant Zack Gramaye. Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnifique Gramaye wrote this? There's no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnifique did intend to continue his diary. Yet, if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zack Gramaye. Well, how do you like me now, Harry? Still too green for your tastes, hmm? He's right about the diary being pretty clear, so I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his previous evidence, precious evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking, but put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case. The diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. Yeah. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary? It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary you've just shown the court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing this diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. Decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is unfortunately something we have to do. Even though we, the player, already know how this is going to go. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that a page has clearly been ripped out. What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnifique Gramaye. That's the defense's position. Wait, let me see that. What in Sam Hill? Why, this is a continuation of the victim's diary. Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in Magnifique's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, Herr Attorney? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zack Gramaye left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor, Verlaine Gramaye. The handwriting too matches that on the other pages. This is, without a doubt, the genuine article. But wait, that's impossible. The old man couldn't have written that. Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? The judge. Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. Might I request you put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. But Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses. I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor. Well, if you put it that way... Mr. Wright, what's your take on this? Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. Then, though this is highly, highly irregular, we will put the current examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring this surprise witness to the courtroom. I had a bad feeling just then. The ripped out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Holding trial with no audience is a first even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding, but I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room. Very well. And you are the witness, I gather. Yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the record. My name is Drew Misham. I'm a painter. Painter? And you are somehow related to this case? No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yeah. I know it well. How's that possible? Have you seen his diary page somewhere before? Oh yeah, I mean, I made it. You... what? You made it? Yes. You might call it one of my works. The prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Graham. Illegal evidence? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He's skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Forgeries? Well, so, we are to understand that this page here is a fake. Prepared by a certain defense attorney. Objection! Hold it. I didn't prepare this evidence. The attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume, but what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix, right? Witness, Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client? I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That's the extent of my contact with them. But there's no proof this is a fake. It's a fake. Huh? To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. It was all a trap. Fatal trap. Mr. Wright. Yes. Do you have an explanation for yourself? If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime. and presenting it in court a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defender relies on forged evidence? The answer is quite clear. A guilty one. Objection! Your Honor, wait. I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for actions I undertook as an individual. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor. Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted it to, you know? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no need for further discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Could I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright. I've seen and studied many people, but none like you. I remember you, Mr. Wright. Okay, thanks. Do I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way? This trial is over. You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must... Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Zack. There's one thing I wish to make clear. Today in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible. I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken, and most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? Doesn't exist? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. Mr. Enigma! Defendant's escaped. Find him, quick! Philip, close all access from the building. Except you will not see this man again. On the double, he must not be allowed to escape. That day in the courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shiro Enigma, aka Zack Ramaye, did not just escape from court. He literally, unbelievably, vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again, not since that day. This is the Ramaye miracle. Yeah, well... No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. That's how it happened. The child magician Zack Ramaye vanished along with him for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later.
Be it continued.
The trial 7 years ago was the beginning of it all. This I know beyond a doubt. The mysteries of the past work their magic on the present, but you'll soon be finding all of this out for yourself.
Give it a tap.
Which of Magnifico Ramaye's disciples pulled that trigger? Where did the vanishing defendant Zack Ramaye go? What dark truth lurks behind the forged diary? And what about the girl who was left behind?
Dun dun dun.
The past left us these 4 keys to unlocking the truth. They never use this specific system again, do they? But that's not all. There are 4 keys in the present as well. And when all the questions have found their answers, the final trial will begin. But first you must chase the truth for then and now. Think of it as a game. Another game! No, wait. Phoenix Wright will be your guide through this game. The terrible trial saw me present forged evidence. It ended half-finished when a defendant vanished. What became of me after that? As your investigation proceeds, the answer will become clear. Oh, and one more thing. There's something I must tell you. As opponent justice has his bracelet, so too do I have my own weapon of sorts. Oh yeah, you would know this if you've played as him. My Magatama. What does it do, you ask? That I would have you see for yourself. Well, now, shall we begin? You wish me right to jump between the past and present. But let's begin 7 years ago, in the past. It is right after my last trial came to an abrupt end. Now that you know the game, let's play. Hell yeah. We're gonna start here. The nightmare trial was over, and the new nightmare figuring out what had happened had just begun. I wanted to wake up, to walk away, but I figured I'm the only one who could do this, probably. And besides, I had plenty of time. Thanks to the Bar Association Review Board's decision, it's hard to work when your attorney's badge has been taken away. 7 years ago, Wright and Co. law officers. It's all a game for him. Oh, is it? Yeah. We literally just saw this. Two weeks had passed since then. I called her into my office.
Oh, baby.
Trucy, there's something we need to talk about. It's been 2 weeks since your father disappeared. We need to start thinking about your future. I did some calling around. This is hard to say, but you have no living relatives. So, I was wondering if you wanted to stay with me for a while. Just until your daddy comes home. It won't be long. I hope. Of course, it's totally your choice. If you don't like it here, you can go wherever you'd like. I could look at some places you might like to stay at. So, wait, do we know? Oh, she is here. What is? Eight.
Mr. Attorney, Daddy told me about you. He said I could trust you.
Oh, really?
So if I stay here, does that mean you'll be my family?
I guess so. Getting weirder.
Mr. Attorney?
Actually, why don't you call me Nick? Or you can call me Daddy if you'd like. It doesn't have to be today or anything.
Okay. Say, Daddy.
That was quick. Yes?
If I move here, I have to switch schools, right? And I was thinking I haven't paid for lunches at my last school for here. So, thanks, Daddy. Oh, and this office, it's a little blah. A little color goes a long way, you know. Oh, and Daddy, you get fired from work, right? Don't you worry one bit. I work twice as hard. We'll make it through this.
You are 8 years old. Trucy, how old are you?
I'm 8. But don't let appearances deceive you. I'm a young professional. Stay with me and you'll do just fine.
Thanks. Why does it feel like she's already in charge? Because she is. Amanda's favorite plant, Charlie. Guess watering Charlie's been my only real job now. Wait, I have a child now. I can feed Trucy like this. She probably needs more than the occasional watering too, I'm guessing. You know, okay. Ay.
So, Daddy, you got fired from being a lawyer, right?
Can at least kind of look aside or something when you say that? It's actually kind of hard for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that foolish, right? My other daddy always used to talk about that.
Actually, that's pretty accurate.
So here's my idea. We'll make a new office. Law just seems so stiff, doesn't it? And no one will be my friend at school that way.
That won't do, I guess. I just don't know much about anything other than law. Or even much about law, if you were to ask some people.
Maybe the problem is calling it an office. We should have run an agency instead.
To show the bills we are pro gambling, he seems to be good at that so much. Like, if it works, it works, but... You mean like a talent agency? Forgive me for asking, but doesn't that require talent?
You've got me, don't ya? I'm a professional.
A professional?
Yep. After all, I'm directly descended from the famous Zack Grandma Yi.
Directly descended? He's your father.
Oh, and now I'm directly descended from the famous Phoenix Wright too.
I think an 80-year-old just massaged my ego. Could you tell me a bit more about your daddy, Zack Grandma Yi?
Sure thing.
Listen, I'm simply not going to say daddy every time she says it. I don't care.
Daddy's so amazing. The biggest star of true Grandma Yi, and they're big.
The Grandma Yis. They were on television a lot. Haven't seen them on much recently, come to think of it.
Big magic happens when you put Zack and Belle and Grandma Yi together, you know? Once they made a giant waterfall right there on the stage. And this giant trout swam up the giant waterfall.
Let me guess, there was a giant fisherman waiting for him at the top?
I wish I could have seen more of Daddy's magic.
I shouldn't have brought it up so soon.
I wonder what will happen to me with Daddy and Mommy both gone.
Mommy? Yeah, what about Mommy? I haven't heard anything about Trucy's mother.
I have my magic and a great daddy even if he's unemployed. Ooh. You know, I think things are going to be okay.
I wonder if she'll talk about her mother. So Trucy, you're a professional?
Yes, it's like that thing they say. Baby frogs grow up to be frogs?
They say that?
I always thought it was funny though.
What was?
Aren't baby frogs called tadpoles? Maybe they thought it would be easier to understand that way for kids. How stupid.
Right. So in conclusion, you're a professional magician, Trucy.
That's right. Oh, well, wanna see a trick?
You're going to do magic? Yes, absolutely, show me. I would like to see your trick. The future of the agency depends on it, after all.
That's the spirit. Ready? Here goes. Ta-da!
Hey, Folds, it's Mr. Hat. I gotta say, it's good to be seen. She's been doing that for so long. That was startling.
Amazing, Mr. Hat. Isn't he great?
A friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat at your service. He certainly makes an impression.
Doesn't he? I'm so glad you like him.
So my routines do get a bit heady at times. Ha! Get it? Heady? My friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat nearly gave me a heart attack. Trucy's favorite trick. Startlingly realistic. The funniest thing is, I don't think he looks realistic in any way with how they show him in the sprite, but it seems to work out every time she uses him. Can you tell me about your mummy, if it's okay?
Mommy was so pretty. She was like an angel up on stage.
On stage? You mean with your daddy?
Yep. She was always there with Zack and Valen smiling. But then she went away.
Went away?
It was a grand illusion, but she made a mistake. She vanished, and I guess she didn't know how to get back.
Maybe so.
I cried then a lot. That's when Daddy gave me this. Here.
Ah, yes! The marionette is like 2 heads taller than her in the sprite. Magic! In the magic loomers that have an interdimensional space pocket thing going for them. This is your mother. She's beautiful.
Hell yeah, good evening. Her name's Thalassa Grandma Yi.
Poor girl. I didn't know her mommy had gone missing. And her daddy's vanished too, right before her eyes.
Hey Daddy, you won't...
Don't worry, I won't vanish, I promise.
Right, you can't even do magic, you're like a backup plan. Daddy always said to have a backup plan.
Guess all I rate as is a backup plan.
Good November.
I think that's probably enough for today. Sorry to ask you so much all at once like that.
It's okay. After all, we're family. I just hope you're ready. The right talent agency opens tomorrow.
But are we representing anyone?
Me and you, that makes two, Daddy.
I think you need more than that to make an agency. Besides, you may be a magician, but I'm not talent.
I'm sure there's something you're good at.
Well, when you put it that way.
You mean you don't have any tricks? No standbys? This will not do. A boy should always have a trick or two in his pocket.
Okay, I'll think of something.
That's the spirit. See you bright and early tomorrow.
Wait, where are you going?
Welcome to the team, Daddy-o.
The team. Right. Where are you gonna go? Sometimes when magicians vanish, they leave something behind. That's how Trucy became Trucy Wright, my daughter. To be honest, I was pretty lost those first few days. Thinking back on it, it was a pretty dark time in my life. But Trucy, happy, smiling Trucy, she was my light.
Yeah. He's so cute.
Oh, there we go. We have our first thing. Then this one next.
London lobby.
Didn't think I'd be back here for a while. I didn't want to have to remember that day. You can. I don't have as many hairstyles on it, but there is a difference. And I think I changed up the redeems to everything that I have available. The only thing that's not working out is... There we go. The whole automatic part of it is not working out, but other than that, you can. This Coxon every day, apparently not. Whether did he live when this was still me, I suppose? I couldn't tell you. It's just the anime showed us that he uses his bike to get everywhere. But they never actually showed us where he lives. Oopsie. I like the pig things. When I came here on that fateful morning, I still had my badge, but now, like an amputated limb, I can still feel it itching. Where do I start? I don't even have the authority to investigate.
Hey, you there, sir. Down on the hands, floor on your head. Now, now, now.
Excuse me? That's a big idea.
No unauthorized personnel aren't allowed in here.
But that would mean all unauthorized personnel are allowed. I just say it like it is, sir, and it's usually wrong. Gone out of the precinct, lost my friends, my girl, even my wallet. Oh my god, Meekins. We've met before, haven't we? On a case 2 years ago?
No recollection of that, sir.
Huh?
For me, working on a case is always in the present progressive tense, sir. There's no past, there's only now, sir.
Okay, you're the bailiff, right?
Yes, sir. Court Bailiff Mike Meekins at your service, sir.
I've asked to meet with the bailiff at this court who let the magician escape.
Let me try to make this as absolutely clear as possible for you, sir. It was me, sir.
But you were a regular police officer once, right? Oh my god.
Hi, Raiders. Good evening. Hi. Hi, Skip.
Hi, Raiders. Welcome in. I'm new. I like the color pink. Vision of Integrity. We're currently playing Apollo Justice. We're on the last case, though we're currently in a little bit of reminiscing about the past.
Hi. Also, hi, Avian. Thank you for the follow. Wait. There we go.
How was you were tasting something earlier, weren't you? Pretty sure. How was the taste testing?
You were a regular police officer once, right?
Sometimes bad things happen to good people, sir.
Something tells me it's a long story. Let's not go there. So you were in charge of security at the time of the vanishing?
I'm dying over here.
Skip is dying right now. It took over. Hi, Arnie. What are you guys doing? Why is she dying? Hello? Imagine being called Meekins. Imagine being a police officer.
Oh, it's a hard dog life, sir. Thrown out of the precinct, lost my friends, my girl, and even my wallet.
I guess I wasn't the only victim. Assigned a weakling. His name is Mike Meekins. How old is he? 24. Yeah, alright. Score name for real. The last time we met you were a police officer, right? In fact, you're still wearing your uniform.
Sir, I wish I didn't have to tell you this, but last year tragedy struck a rising star at the precinct. I lost my case files 4 times in 3 days. They fired me.
They better fucking have. That takes real talent, actually. They don't know what they're missing.
So here I am, sir, forced to start from square one, a lowly bailiff.
But your uniform?
I took it with me as a souvenir the day I was fired. Are you allowed to do that?
That can't be legal. So, you were the one who let the magician get away that day?
I'm dying over here. A star rises among the court bailiffs full of hope, then tragedy strikes.
Is there anything you can tell me about it? About Zach Ramayer's disappearance?
Oh, the humanity!
That's enough of that. You understand why he's in legal trouble? Well, technically we're the ones in legal trouble. We just lost our badge, but... I hate you. Well, yes, I'd say it was around 2 PM when I heard a commotion in court. What? What do you mean, what? Who's asking at this point? Is it still you, Artie? Have you ever actually finished the Ace Attorney game that we were playing together? Because if no, you have a lot to catch up on. How will people know we were an attorney? We are famous after the fact. Because it's like, oh my god, star attorney Phoenix Wright in legal trouble, presented forged evidence to the court, lost his attorney's badge, so... People will know who you are, even without showing absolutely everyone your badge. You should finish Ace Attorney though. Or you should continue playing the games.
I opened the door to see what might be amiss. The door slams open, slam, and some guy's face is right there in front of me. Face!
So, you saw someone suspicious coming your way?
Yes, and I, being a bailiff of little standing, I gave chase. A chase that circled all the way down the hall, sir.
I have a diagram of the court building here, because of course we have.
It's courtroom number 7, that's where I was, sir.
Okay, good for you.
All by myself, nary a friend to call my own.
Okay, and which way did Zach Ramayer run after bursting through the courtroom door?
He went up like this, and around the corner like that. So I, with no delay, ran after him with no delay.
You said that twice.
When I turned the corner, I saw the magic man run into the thunder lobby. Swiftly I ran.
I think this is like the only time we actually see what the court building is supposed to look like.
Following him, I threw myself boldly into the room. I remember it like it was right here because it was lobby number 2, sir.
You went into this room? I don't see any place to hide in here.
Believe it or not, sir, I didn't believe it. Here, in this room, the magician, gone, vanished like a puff of smoke. His way of speaking is really fucking getting on my nerves. Except there wasn't even any smoke. He was just gone.
That's impossible.
Yes, that word. How many times have I said that word? Even the sound of it causes me indescribable pain.
Stop dying. Okay, I won't say it again, promise. But you have to admit, it's difficult to vanish into thin air. Did you search the lobby?
I searched.
Why the pause?
There was nothing here at all, sir. That's right, nothing was here, sir.
How can you talk so loud and still be hiding something? So Zack was in his room and he vanished.
Absolutely, sir. I saw him with my own eyes. The red silk hat, that flowing cape. He went right in here, right inside his room.
Silk hat, cape. That's Zack, alright.
Sir, look at that room. There's not a single place to hide. Sir, there was nothing I could do, but nothing, sir.
You know, because the thing is, seeing that blueprint of the building, I always thought, for some reason, like, this is the lobby, and this is where you go to the courtroom. I always thought it's like 2 rooms on the adjacent sides of the courtroom, and that's not even the case. Okay, thank you. What about now? Have any ideas?
Sir! Ideas about what exactly, sir, if you don't mind me asking?
You've had quite a bit of time since then. Has nothing occurred to you at all? Do you have any idea what trick he might have used to disappear like that? Oh, there it is. Cyclops! I should have known. Agatama, one of my most prized possessions, which I got during a certain case. You can show me the locks on people's hearts. And if I can unlock their hearts, tell me their secrets. Magatama starts it all, and the Magatama ends it. Hell yeah, let's do it. Room says that as well when you played the game? Okay. Thank you, at least I'm not the only person who thinks so, man. Well, let's get this guy, we can already clear these. So many slices! Artie, you need to keep in mind that the game you played is the very first one to even feature Phoenix Wright. And this is the 4th game which doesn't even feature Phoenix Wright as the protagonist anymore. But thank you for coming by. I hope you had a good time. Oopsie. I also hope the burgers were good today. Okay, Mr. Meekins. What do you know? Spit it out.
Hey, what's with the atmosphere in here all of a sudden?
You know something and I'm going to find out what. Sakura Magi vanished from this room. How do you do it?
How, sir? Well, sir, I can't say as I... Sir.
Why are you so nervous if you aren't hiding something?
Well, sir, you see, at the time, sir, I was here and... Listen, it was impossible. What could such a little girl possibly do anyway?
There it is. What did you just say?
No, sir, did I just say something, sir?
No, you screamed it through the megaphone of yours. There was someone else in the room, wasn't there?
Sir, I'm going to have to invoke my right to remain in a state of not talking. It's
okay, Meekins. You don't have to tell me who Zack's accomplice was. I know who was here in this room that day.
Never seen that girl until just the other day.
Mr. Meekins, I'm not buying it.
Sir! Sir, that day, she was here in the room, sir. But he wasn't.
You mean you chased her into this room, not him?
Sir, in my days as a police officer, literary days, I learned a thing or two. Okay, just one thing, but it was how not to mistake a girl for a 7-foot-tall magician.
7 feet? Zack isn't that tall, is he? You have a point. I find it hard to imagine that anyone would mistake a little girl for Zack Gramayer. But you saw something, and therein lies the trick. I think you know what it was, Mr. Meekins. Tell me, does this trick look familiar? Okay. What's that?
The girl's favorite trick, the amazing Mr. Hat. She uses it in her show down at the Wonder Bar. Have you been to the Wonder Bar?
So, it wasn't a waking dream, was it, sir?
Come again?
That night, on stage, I saw a vision, except it wasn't a vision. It was a hat. An amazing Mr. Hat. He really exists.
This is one of the easier psychos.
I remember it clearly, though the details are a little vague. Sakurama exited the courtroom. I gave chase and cornered him in the corner room, sir.
The corner room? Where cornered?
Sakurama, you don't even think you can escape Mikens! Down on your hands, floor on your head.
Again? Hello?
Something the matter, mister? No, that is... Sir, I'm currently chasing a suspect, sir. Sakurama, do you know him? I love Sakurama. His magic is the best. I'm his biggest fan. I see. That's why you're wearing the costume you're wearing. Anyway, that very same Zack came into his room. But no one's been in here except me. But he has to be in here somewhere. Under the sofa, in the trash can, behind the painting, under the rug. There's no rug in this room.
So, Trucy was his accomplice.
Imagine my astonished surprise when 1 week later, I just happened to walk into a bar and see him.
Mr. Hat.
I couldn't believe my own eyes. For a while I thought it had all been a long dream.
A dream that lasted a week?
It wasn't a magician who disappeared, it was Mr. Hat.
Aww. You know, you could almost be sorry for the guy. Though it seems complex, what really happened that day was quite simple. You were standing by the door and out came Zack. But that wasn't all. Another person got in on the act, and she was standing in front of lobby number 2. Along with Mr. Hat.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
So, while you are standing in shock and amazement, the magician rounds the corner. And most likely runs through the closest door into lobby number 1. This is where you come in. You turn the corner and rather lukewarm pursuit. And at that very moment, Trucy runs into lobby number 2. Then, all she has to do is tuck away the amazing Mr. Hat.
Sir, I only lost sight of him for the briefest of moments. Then I saw that cape. Sakurama's red cape fluttering like a cape. Wow. Astounding, sir. All my days of posing queries and making inquiries and chasing quarries wasted. It was as if I could see them melting away like an ice cream cone left by the side of the road to die. Okay. Or the scattered remains of a messily eaten chocolate parfait.
Such sweet sorrows. What is wrong with this man? I'm sorry. I had no idea how much he'd suffered on account of this case.
It's an honor, sir. I've apologized to people many, many times, sometimes more than once. But this is the first time anyone's ever apologized to me.
Actually, about that girl, I'm sort of her guardian now.
Is that so? Sir, you should know that I harbor no ill feelings whatsoever in my harbor.
Okay.
I let the defendant escape, that's the stone cold truth. Just another step on my way from singing the blues to wearing the blues. Someday, sir, I'll be standing side by side with the great detective Guamshu.
Mr. Meekins, this is a free ticket to the show at the Wonder Bar. If you want.
It's an honor, sir. Sir, I can't count the number of things I've had taken from me, sir. But no one's ever given me anything for free.
Whoever has given you that fucking megaphone deserves to be shot.
I'll see you in court next time then, sir.
I look forward to it. Oh, thank you, Jesus. All eyes were on Sakurama that day in court until his mysterious disappearance. Now part of the mystery has been revealed, but the magician remained out of sight. It would be 7 years before I met him again. It's my own fucking fault for doing some of the voices that I'm doing, but Jesus Christ, what an annoying guy.
unlocked something new.
Present day Borscht Bowl Club.
I'll be taking my leave now. I still have some work to do back at the office. Then I guess I go back to my piano. To be honest, it's better when you aren't playing. This frigid culinary dungeon almost feels comfortable. Later then. 2 hours left on my shift. Wonder if we'll get any customers tonight. Do you know who I am? Who I am? No, but if you hum it, I can play it. Just kidding, I don't do requests. How about a different sort of request? You see, I play cards. Oh, a customer. I was just hoping someone would come in and save me from a night at the Keys. I seek a true competition. I've heard the Borscht Bowl Club is the place for this. Now I see the rumor is true. And this is a friend of yours.
Don't mind me, I'm just your friendly neighborhood newsman.
He will not be playing tonight. When his business is finished, I shall send him home. This competition will be between us, not others. His face, or more like his head shape, looks wrong with you know, the hat he is on. The Right Talent Agency represents 2 artists, and I'm number 2. I play piano. Well, sort of. It's actually just a front for my real talent, which is playing poker. Don't ask me how I got started, I don't remember. Capcom didn't want to write that down, that's what it is. But I'm good, real good. It didn't take long for the rumors to get around. Go to the Borscht Bowl Club if you want a real game. The guy's never lost. People don't come to hear me tickle the ivory, they come to watch me play cards. Is this a seedy poker club? No, it's a restaurant. We don't play for high stakes, there's no money involved. The real players carry cash, and they're always thirsty. It's a handy source of income for the club owner. Then let's compete. I'll take you to the room. The hideout, yes. But before we go... Yes. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Shadi Smith.
Conan Brushel, Spot Brushel, news reporter.
Oh, No, Phoenix Wright. Huh? You must always look a man in the eye when you make your introductions. You still do not know who I am. Have we met? Yeah. Like, his head looks too short when he's not wearing the top hat. Can't be, but you're... Zach Gramayer. Yes, the reincarnation act of the century. Pity I've only an audience of 1. You. Zach Gramayer, this must be a bad dream. In a sense, this guy ruined my life. You there. Now? We will play soon, ready the room.
I will be preparing the hideout for you.
Mrs., I'm faking a Russian accent that I'm not gonna do. Are you really him? The Zach Gramayer? No, I'm Shadi Smith. Remember this. How many years has it been now? 6? In exactly 3 days from now it will be 7. I caused you much inconvenience, I fear. Yeah, you could say that. Is she well? Trucy, I mean. She's fine. I've got her working already. Hope you don't mind. I need hardly express my gratitude, but you have it. This is why I've come. That and to settle a matter of cards. By which you mean poker. Those eyes, he's serious. I despise losing above all else, and so I've decided that I will win tonight, no matter what it takes. I know this guy's type, and they're dangerous. Everything's about the competition, all else is secondary. Perhaps we should take this time to talk before we play. I know you have much to ask me. And are you? Yes, actually. We competed that day 7 years ago, too.
Ah, yes. You must have been surprised. Called to the detention center out of the blue. One. Showdown time. I lost. It's only a game of poker. A game I've played for a long time and only lost twice. Who was the first? The man I killed, of course. You choose your defense attorneys by playing poker. Some are hired, others fired. When you compete, you see a man's true nature. You know what I speak of. I know that you do. Trucy's power. Trucy? She's in a class of her own. Oh? For 7 years I've played poker here at the Borscht Bowl Club. And I've never lost once. I'm good, but not that good. I win because whenever there's a big game, I bring in Trucy. And she sends me signals.
Daddy, he's got a good hand. You might have a chance if you act quick. Gotta call him soon.
Today, in Trucy probably knows the rules of poker better than I do. Not even probably. Probably. For sure. Can you tell me what her power is? Judging a person's thoughts by reading their reactions is a staple of performance magic. But those of Trucy's line possess far greater skill. Her line? Recall, you were the second man to whom I've lost. Magnificame. That was the first time I learned of this power, as you call it. Wait, so you're saying her power is genetic? It's just in the Grandma blood or something? Blood. Ooh. Ew. Oh, three. I'm sorry, but it is not something told lightly to outsiders. And it is nothing you need to know at this time. Some kind of Grandma secret then. Fine. She's 15 this year? She's still trying her best to follow in your footsteps, you know? I see. When I planned my disappearing act, it was the thought of her alone that gave me pause. Wait, you were planning on vanishing from the get-go? Yes, and for that I must apologize. However, I could not be found guilty that day. Because of this. Yes. A transferal of rights. You see the signature. A transferal. That's Magnificame signature, isn't it? I hereby give all rights to the secret staging and performance of my magic to the recipient named below. Zachary. Looks like the actual page. And the recipient's name is you, Zachary. Yes, it is I. Wait, this page looks torn. You recall the diary, yes? Yeah. Artificially lengthening the game by showing us scenes we saw like an hour ago 3 more times. How could I forget? That scrap of paper lost me my attorney's badge. This is the real page that was torn from the book. Magnifi gave it to me that night. You could have told me this earlier, like 7 years earlier? Once again, I must apologize. It was all I could do to prepare for my escape from my courtroom. The greatest of Magnificame's illusions are true art. As such, they are well protected by this document. Only its bearer may perform his illusions on stage. Sounds like a pretty important thing to have if you're his disciple. As the rightful heir to his art, I too wanted a rightful heir. Rightful? I'm sure you know who I chose as my successor. Your daughter. That is why I forced all to come here tonight. Russia. Jack. Here you go. What's this? A letter passing the rights I've inherited to Trucy. I would have you sign here as a witness. But I'm not a lawyer anymore. And you need a public notary besides. I may not look it, but I'm certified notary. You certainly don't look it. You are? By day I wear notary's glasses and hunt for news. Also by day I wear reporter's glasses and notaries. When I take off the glasses, I can't see very well. Me too, brother. Me too. Your signature, please. This is the first reason I've come here tonight. I finally figured it out. Now I know why you've come out of hiding only now. It's been 7 years, you said. Precisely. There's a law that covers your situation. After 7 years, missing persons are considered to be legally deceased. So if someone was to vanish from the face of the earth 7 years ago, they would lose all rights as a living person after 7 years from that day. Not to mention all of their possessions. Exactly, which is why I'm here. I risk showing my face in public for the sake of this document. Before my 7 years up. You might say I'm securing my daughter's inheritance. But do you really need this document? Wouldn't Trucy inherit your estate automatically? Not in this case, I'm afraid. This case? Yes, I received the performance rights from Magnifique Gramaillier. However, this was done in secret without witnesses. Before Magnifique died, 2 potential successors to his repertoire were named. Myself, Zach Gramaillier, and Valent Gramaillier. Not Trucy. I see. So you do need this document. I've known Brushel since before I vanished. He's a man I trust. Now, only 3 know of my rebirth. I took the liberty of looking into Trucy's background and found you had no other close kin. It is as you say. Okay. I was kind of hoping he'd say something about the mother at this point. I know everyone else but Trucy's mother is a mystery. Well, let's change that. This person in the photo is Trucy's mother. How did you come by this? Trucy showed it to me. She said her mother was gone. Then it is so. Huh? She's gone. What more is there to say? Lots? I know. Oh, you're still here? According to my in-depth research, Trucy's mother, Magnifique Gramaillier's only daughter, and quote. What? Magnifique's daughter? Is that true, Mr. Zack? Herschel, you say too much. I hate smokers. What am I the bad guy? Why? Zack decked him. In any case, Mr. Wright, this discussion is over. Celeste Gramaillier, she's the most mysterious of the whole lot. I need to gather me some more evidence clearly. Well, the prelude may have been longer than the main attraction. Shall we begin our game? My final competition. Final? Why? As you said, I have come out of hiding today to make this document legally binding. Once that is done, I shall slip once more underground. Without seeing your daughter? It would be best if I did not. 7 years ago we played, 7 years ago I lost. I already lost to Magnifique. I do not care to lose to another. And I've heard that you never lose. It's just a rumor. Yes, for it is impossible to never lose, unless one has an ace up on sleeve. As a magician, it causes me no end of irritation. You think a mere lawyer might be out there pulling the wool over so many eyes. Hey, I just signed your document for you. Maybe you could try lightening up? That was that. This is this. For my final competition, I will destroy your perfect record, Phoenix Wright. This will be my final performance. You are warned. This guy's beyond serious. So much for a fun evening of cards. Brushel, you may leave. But it's your last game. I mean, what a scoop. I punch and I punch, but still it is not enough. I just remembered a future prior engagement. Toodles, gentlemen. Nice meeting you, Piano Man. Then let us begin. Dealer. And there she is again. You will be witness to our competition. It is honor for me. Haven't I seen her around here before? Yeah, I wonder. That reminds me. I saw familiar faces that entered this restaurant. He did not seem to notice me, however. Kevin, I believe was his name. You know him? After fashion. Listen, Phoenix Wright. One can learn much from a true competition. Remember this. The Gramaillier power. I was close to understanding it, but I needed more. And I knew where to get it. Josie's mother. I need to meet the reporter again, that was clear. And one other thing. From the moment my final competition with Zack began that night, a name was running through my head. The name of a man now in prison. A name Zack Ramaye knew, but how? And why?
Solitary Cell 13, that's a new one.
This is an interesting design for a prison cell.
Hi!
Well, isn't this an unexpected surprise? What errand brings you down to my cramped confines? Gavin. This flashback I understand because that was the literal beginning of the game and it's been a few weeks. You look well, Phoenix, right? You too, Gavin. Yeah. Life has been full of surprises for both of us. I've no doubt you never expected to lose that attorney's badge of yours. And I'll bet you never expected to wind up here. Charlie Smith was the name of the man you killed. Did you know who he really was? Who he was? Zack Ramaye, you know, the defendant. I remember him, of course. But you say Smith was Zack. Impossible. Don't even try to tell me it was a coincidence. What did I just say? Life is full of surprises, don't you think? After the trial, you were arrested and found guilty, but your motive was never made clear. A mistake I plan to remedy. You're not an attorney anymore, Phoenix, right? What possible conclusion do you think this investigation of yours can lead to? I killed a man named Smith with a bottle because I'm an evil human being. Isn't that enough? Not for me, it isn't. I need to know why you did it, Gavin. Do you recall the case 7 years ago? Ah yes, the trial where Zack Ramaye pulled his famous vanishing act. My brother won his fair share of praise and adoration for the trial, as I recall. Genius prosecutor reveals crooked attorney, was it? That was when I met you, wasn't it? Was it now? The Bar Association Review Board voted unanimously for the strictest punishment. Unanimous, save for one dissenting opinion. Yours. It was my brother who was responsible for putting you in that position after all. For 7 years we've been friends, and yet I still don't understand you. But right, your friendship toward me was never pure. You suspected me then as you still do now, don't you? Honestly, right now, I'm not sure what I think. You didn't just brain a guy with a juice bottle for no reason. Tell me why you did it. Resistant, aren't you? I came here because I remembered something. The night of our game, Zack Ramaye mentioned your name, Gavin. We literally had that 5 minutes ago. Thank you. After that he was killed, and I asked you to help me. Because I remembered your kindness back when everyone had turned on me.
I seem to be, yeah.
I have to know. Why did you kill Shadi Smith? No, Zack Ramaye. There it is. Whoa. I've never seen psych looks like these. 5 of them? And they're a color we've not seen before. Dark, cold, full of despair. Can I even unlock these things? Something wrong, right? No, it's nothing. You shouldn't push yourself so hard. Life is to be taken easy, you know. He's doing his nails. Yeah, well, okay. You're thinking what self-respecting man would use nail polish? Not really. I know appearances are a big thing with you. You know what I say. One cannot live a beautiful life without beautiful nails. First rate in all things, except nothing less. It certainly does look like first-rate nail polish. I like the sparkly bottom. It's crystal. If you're so drawn to it, please, have one. It's on me. The nail polish is colorless. Okay, thanks. Hi, good evening. "7 years ago, Drew Studio." Oh! I figured you'd come here sooner or later. Yeah. I decided on sooner. Drew Mission, was it? I haven't done anything illegal. No? Well, technically, he hasn't. He's not the one who's making the forgeries. So thank you for the past check. And diary time. And I didn't come here to whine about past events. I wanted to ask you some questions. I suppose you have done, right? His eyes are funny. The day the entire court descended into chaos, only you stood still, your eyes calmly watching. I admit it made quite an impression on me. I'm used to finding myself in outrageous situations. Feeling's right, was it? I'll answer what I can. I'm not sure, but it feels like I'm being watched intensely. This is my daughter, Vera. Say hello. She's gone. Shall we begin then? Sure. Judging from this place, you're a painter. Not exactly a profitable one. I've never sold a painting. It is also considerable embarrassment. I would be able to get by were it only me. Your daughter. Her mother grew wary of me and left. I don't want her to grow up needy, Mr. Wright. That is why I began my other occupation. Forgeries. Don't look at me with those eyes. I know what it is that I do. More than half the paintings they bring me are stolen. And who knows what my copies are used for. But some of your works aren't paintings, correct? You may not believe me when I tell you this, but that was my first work outside of painting. What? You think it would be used as evidence in a murder trial? I never even imagined the possibility. Then why did you take a job? I was well paid, very well paid. I think he feels worse about it than I do. The past is hard to escape. Honestly, the sooner I can put this behind me, the better. With apologies to you, of course. Sorry, but it's not going to be quite so easy. He's trying to forget what he made. Looks like I have to remind him. Remind him. Let me look at everything. Oh. Maybe I'll just settle on over here for a closer look. It's a pretty bottle. Don't touch that place. I'll get in trouble. It belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. She looks at it often. It's a light pink fluid inside. Nail polish, I'm guessing. It's an awfully small frame. Is that inside it, a stamp? Please don't touch that. I'll get in trouble. The stamp belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. Troop Grammar-Year. Second Valent the Grammar-Years, isn't it? The post office issued that commemorative stamp last year, and the Grammar-Years were at the height of their popularity. Not anymore. Now that one of them has vanished off the face of the earth. Vera went to see one of the shows when she was quite small. She's been a dedicated fan ever since. She watched them every time they came on TV until the end. When she was quite small. She is still quite small, she's only 12. I see. This time's quite hard to come by, I hear. I still wonder how she got her hands on it. You don't know? Oh. Okay. Well, let me show you this. Your work. Don't try to pretend you've forgotten. Sure, all you did was make a copy, but that copy might have destroyed the life of an innocent man. I'm responsible too, which is why I have to know. And you have to tell me. I knew it would be difficult to escape this. Then let's talk. Let's talk. Well then, ready to tell me about this work you did? It was unlike anything I'd attempted before. I guess it would be a little different from paintings. That is not what I mean. In all my previous works, it sufficed to create a copy. This wasn't a copy? The client gave me two things that day. The first was a sample page as reference. The second, a printed document I can only surmise was written by my client. So you used the rewriting as a reference to reproduce what the client wrote. Yes, as I said, it was my first job of that nature. So, who was your client? As I said in court, I do not know. Really? Even for such a suspicious request? If it was me, I'd want to know as much as I could about the requester. I never met them, not personally. Saglo, of course. Seems like you're still hiding something. Something about this work. Come on. Can I clear this one? I think I can. Let's hear it then. What are you hiding from me, Mr. Misham? I'm sorry, but I really don't know. I never met the client. True, when I asked the client's name, there were no Cyclops inside. Regardless, you're hiding something. You have to be, otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. Why are you doing this to me? Well, I've made my stand. No backing down now. So what's Misham hiding? Well, he's hiding who actually forged it. I can pretty much piece together what it is from what you said. What is it then? You told me what you knew about the client, and I couldn't see any psychologs. Psychologs? Is that some sort of asylum security or a new hairstyle, perhaps? But then they did show up, didn't they? Not personally. Those words triggered the psycholog. Again with the psychologs, now I really must know what they are. No, don't worry. So you didn't meet with the client, but someone else did. Maybe the real forger behind his evidence. Perhaps I'm hung up in his lock business. But I'm afraid you've lost me. Yeah, well, I didn't come here to talk about psychologs. As long as I come to the right conclusion, it doesn't matter how I got there. And your conclusion is? The real forger behind this wasn't you, Mr. Misham. Poppycock. I don't know what you're talking about. That's my work, I tell you. Made here in my studio, who else could it have been but me? It's a weird question, isn't it? If the forger wasn't you, then I don't have many other people to choose from. The real forger drew Studio H. The daughter. The real forger is your daughter, Vera Misham, isn't it? Ridiculous. My daughter's only 12 years old, Mr. Ray. I've always been more of one for landscapes, not surrealism. Nice comeback, but you're shaking in your boots.
I've got you now. The only two people with access to the studio are you and your daughter. The Cyclops tell me you're not the forger, which makes your daughter the only possibility. I feel very much on the verge of going psycho myself. I don't know how you knew, but you're right. The one who made this page was my daughter, Vera, not I. She's only 12, a genius you might call her. A precocious little girl outshining her father. There's been a lot of that going around recently. I let her play in the studio and she watched me. She taught herself in that way. The drafting tools and analytical devices I bought when they became necessary. They're my little girl's playthings now. Do we detect a bit of fatherly pride? So Vera was the one who made this page. Would she know who the client was then? Actually, the client came once. Here to the studio. What? Why didn't you say so sooner? But the face was covered and it did not want to talk to me. So, they talked to your daughter. I will speak only with the artist, the client told me. And the little girl is the key to our mystery client's true identity. Okay, what do I do now? Maybe I should talk to her father a bit more. Is it time to turn my attention to Vera? Yeah, we've talked about everything else. Mr. Misham, I have a request. Let me guess, you'd like to speak with my daughter. Can I? My daughter has never been one to talk to strangers. There is no heterosexual explanation for that movie. Bobby, Diamond Council. She's quite shy, extremely so actually, with only one exception. Which was, oddly enough, it was a client. I left the studio while they talked. I returned when they had finished and she was laughing. It was the first time I'd seen anything of the sort. Please, let me speak with her. Alright.
A baby.
Uh-oh. This could be tough. Vera, was it? Would you like to have a friendly chat? I'm Phoenix Wright, ex-lawyer and pianist. She doesn't care. I'm still looking for the keys that say do, re, mi. Can't find them anywhere. I'm not good at this. I need something to get through to this girl. Right? Vera, was it? Would you like to have a friendly chat? Is that the same one? That's right, excellent. Okay. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Show you something. And then there's this. My stamp. Hey, she spoke. She can talk. Yeah, so the stamp. Great magicians, aren't they? Isn't True Grandma Yi amazing? Yes? Oh. I especially like those two, Zack and Balland. I mean, they're so magical.
Aren't they?
Yeah, whenever I go to one of their shows, I'm like, oh, magic, you know?
Me too. I love them. They're so cool. It's like magic. Yeah.
You guys seriously need a little more vocabulary. Alright, she's talking. Not saying much, but it's a start.
I went and saw them with Father the other day. The opening ceremony at the Grandma Yi Museum of Magic.
Grandma Yi Museum? They have one of those? I guess it makes sense now that they have their own commemorative stand. So, have you been to one of their shows?
Just once when I was little with Father. The Grandma Yi's on stage, it was like a dream. Disappearing, reappearing, cutting apart, putting back together, they do it all.
Yeah, maybe you can keep telling me stuff like this? You know, about Zack and Balland, maybe?
Oh, sure.
Alright, better get asking before she changes her mind. Alright, let's try again though.
I don't go outside much. I like to paint in here.
Why don't you like the outside?
There's bad people out there.
Well, true, but there are lots of good people too. Actually, I should tell you. She was almost kidnapped once. Kidnapped? Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. See? Wait, but that doesn't make sense. She said she went to the Gramayi Museum. With you, in fact. Yes, actually. She was quite insistent on it, much to my surprise. That was the first and last time she expressed such a desire to me.
That person gave me a good luck charm.
A good luck charm?
But when I absolutely had to go outside?
Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. From a client, actually. She won't tell me what it was.
Father, I told you to keep that a secret.
From a client, huh? This I have to hear about. So your father tells me you're good at painting all sorts of things?
I really like painting a lot. Father's always very happy when I paint them exactly the same.
So you did this too?
Oh yes, that was my first job.
Your first?
All I used to do was paint the same thing I saw. But this was totally different. The pen slips and the way the writer held the pen and the pressure on the nib. I had to use a microscope and analyze it on a computer.
Seems happy. Odd. However, was the last nail in the Gramayi coffin? I guess no one told her.
They're the best in the world.
Huh? Oh, you mean Troop Gramayi? Of course.
Father gave it to me.
Your father? But ask him about it? He didn't know how you got it.
I guess I just took it.
Took it?
Father got a letter from that person.
That person? You mean the letter was from the client?
Oh, we talked about the Grammys forever that day. I'm sure that's why I was sent that stamp. I didn't want to just send it back, so I took it.
A sneaky one, this client. They were trying to get on her good side. Sent from the real client. So, you met the person that asked you to do this job? And you talked with them? What's this about a good luck charm you received?
I can talk about it. If I do, it won't work anymore. That's what I was told.
Yeah, but I really have to know. Right, time to do some psych unlocking. Oh, that one should be easy enough. We have all of our keys. You seem to trust this client quite a lot, in fact. Because they gave you this stamp?
No, that's not why. They listen to me, to my problem.
Problem that keeps you inside all the time?
Don't go outside if you don't want to. That's what they told me. But when I absolutely have to go out, all I had to do was use a good luck charm.
A good luck charm that your client gave you? I think I know what your client might have given you, actually. Is this your good luck charm? This was what they gave you, wasn't it? The same bottle's over there on your desk. Your good luck charm, right?
I heard once cosmetics were once thought to ward off evil. This is a magic bottle. It has the power.
Of course it does. I'll just refrain from commenting any more on that one. I think I know who gave you that bottle, actually. The one who asked you to do this job. Was this the client? This man is a friend of mine. Know him? His name is Christoph Gavin. He's a lawyer, actually.
I promised not to tell.
That's as good as saying yes.
I'm sorry, I can't talk about the client, I promise. If I break my promise, the spell won't work.
I don't need a name anymore. I've got my answer. You're pretty confident in his charm, then.
I think there might be the devil.
Huh?
Or maybe an angel.
What do you mean?
I saw it. I think I saw it. When they gave me this. I saw the devil's face.
Are you saying the client's face looked like the devil's?
No, the client was gentle with a gentle smile.
So, where'd you see this devil then?
It was so quick, I don't remember well. But that's when I knew that person wasn't like other people. That's why I believe in my good luck charm.
I'm not sure what this devil she saw was, but it's pretty clear that Christoph Gavin has her charmed. Plot twist, I promise not to tell that I don't know that person. I think that's all. I'll be leaving now. I'm sorry for what happened. If you want to apologize, try my client, Zach Ramaye.
Did I do something bad?
What makes you think that?
Your eyes, they're sad. Very sad.
I'll put on my smile next time I come, promise. I hope to see you smile then too, Vera.
Oh, okay.
Take care. Thinking back on my first encounter with the young forger, I witnessed something of vital importance that day. Of course, by the time I realized it, it was already too late. Yeah, there we go. One last thing to do in the past. What a strange sight of mine eyes behold. Oh god. Excuse me? Two men on either side of a single transparent pane. Yet it seems fickle fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forger fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes within these plexiglass confines. There's been no proof that I forged anything. No proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet, these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano in a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? The shooting of Magnifique Ramaye for who pulled that trigger, Valent or his partner Zach? His partner vanished before the answer could be found. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's talent. Yes, he made my attorney's badge disappear and he never even touched it. Glory Spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. Yet his very disappearance is itself a revelation. Revealing what? Zach Ramaye killed Magnifique. It's as good as a signed confession. It's certainly been public opinion's take on it. I grow tired of my cage, and the time of my release is near. I must go unprepared. Planning on jumping back into the magic right away? As long as an audience awaits with bated breath, there will be Valent. And also... Yes? Now that my partner's disappeared, Magnifique's repertoire is mine. Valent Ramaye is a tradition to uphold. Is that true? Seen in this light, the trial was quite good to me, verdict or no. And you can't pay for that kind of publicity. The suspicion on you hasn't lifted entirely, Valent. After all, you received one of those letters too. You were just as obligated to follow Magnifique's instructions as your partner. So I was, but only Zach Ramaye followed them. Someone could beat the game with only seeing the orange words in there. Oh no. I mean, if you with no outside help aside from the orange text, no, I don't think so. Let us not speak anymore of who shot what. Now that my partner's vanished, the question is moot. I'm more interested in learning something else, actually. What might that be? I want to know what Magnifique had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him? Trick up his sleeve? Perhaps you do not know. Know what? A great magician never reveals his secrets. Oi oi oi. 4. I didn't think it would be that easy. The audience must remain forever in the audience, bathing in the reflected glow of the spotlight. Ech. Whatever. Your secrets will be mine. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. So much of trial and error, aim, rushing shit. I understand what's going on? Yeah, nah. True. Technically, this would be one of those games like that you would eventually get through with something like, oh, Twitch plays whatever. Like, at some point you will have hit the right buttons enough times, but... And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone into committing murder? My guess is it was a matter of life or death. To explain. Your troop lived in a world of showmanship, the flashier the better. And flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Love the badge. The only reason I'm not presenting the badge to everyone that I can is because we're strictly focusing on like actually getting through the story. I can handle the law. Yeah, right? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. Okay. Gun. Why, that's one of ours. Specially designed for your show, I gather. A single bullet, one shot. What are you suggesting? We're magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. Good evening, TK. Hi. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valent. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zack and Valent's quick draw shoot him. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shooting cancelled because someone might get hurt? Oops, what other reason could there be? Well, it could have been cancelled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my fortune forging friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Oh, tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope he walks it with me. A life was sacrificed so that the show might go on, and this shows who it was. That's Zack Ramayer's wife and Trucy's mother. Thalassa, I believe, was her name? But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still undeniable there. Thalassa was at the greatest risk of being shot, and this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Troop Ramayer's performances were very, very popular. So popular they even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze, we were an age, a golden age. It's all here on the stamp. There's Thalassa, yes? Trucy's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know. Oh, really? A part of his memory is still locked up. There's one thing you're failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a word unto itself. If our leader Magnifi was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Valent's got a point. If one of the troop members died in an accident and Magnifi covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right address, Mr. Wright. So close, there has to be something. About how Thalassa's death could affect Zack and Valent's relationship with Magnifi. I see in your eyes you still have something to say. How can you possibly prove more than you already have? A proof why Thalassa's accident tied your hands so completely? A person. It's going to take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands. And this information proves why Magnifi held so much power over you. It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zack Gramaye's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnifi Gramaye's only daughter. There was a terrible accident, and the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnifi's power over you, I don't know what was.
It was an accident. Dun dun dun.
There's no proof, none at all. But Talessa went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. You mean Troop Gramaye? The master, Magnifi Gramaye, his only daughter, and his two disciples. It does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident. But that is all it was. Oops. An accident. Zack and Valens tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly, straight toward that beautiful body on stage. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing. Same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. But as for whose bullet stole Talessa's life, we shall never know the answer. Talessa disappeared from our lives, and Zack was bereft of his wife. Lucy lost her mother, and Magnifi his daughter. And that led to blackmail, I take it? It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when a curtain falls.
Oh, the darkness.
Why did Magnifi Gramaye try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is it was a critical time for True Gramaye, the passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Talessa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all, yet, even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself and Zack, found we could no longer oppose Magnifi's wishes. Magnifi forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing. But then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? Things were dark behind the scenes in True Gramaye, that's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. I'm sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnifi's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing quite persistently. A reporter. He called himself a newsman at the time. Often I spied him lurking about the dressing room doing his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What's his name? Sorry, I've forgotten. But in the course of his interview, he became quite close to my partner Zack. I liked him a lot. I see. His name, I do not recall, but his scent, a cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only rules. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I began to notice a dark curtain hanging over True Gramaye, and I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from the darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman, I never learned who that was at the time. Though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile and the sickly sweet smell of mint. The last floss-thin thread connecting Zack Gramaye to this world. Sooner or later I'd have to track him down.
There we go. Everything completed in the past.
Getting there.
Well, what do we have here?
Thank you for that every time.
And that.
Caddy as normally is. Remember me. Of course I remember you. Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar, end quote. Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Misham was poisoning his daughters.
Oh yes, I know. Oh, how I know, yes.
It's cost me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he'd tracked down case just a little quicker, end quote. Were you in the trail of this case the whole time?
Zach Grandma was a good friend.
Zach said something to that effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club.
What a character, what a man.
If a little,
no, a lot.
no, extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions?
Oh, you're serious? I mean,
I'm usually interviewer, not interviewee.
Journalists ask questions, not other way around, end quote.
Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. That's great. Love that for you.
Also, thank you for the non-binary.
It was tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter.
Forgery is a serious crime and they paid the price. You know what really did them in though, don't you?
Yes, a forged diary page. The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known. What's that?
You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Moles of ears, potatoes of eyes, end quote.
Being watched? You mean he felt guilty?
No, I'm not talking about feelings here. You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck, freaks out, end quote.
Because you felt guilty?
Why would I feel guilty?
You felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means.
Paranoia.
Drew Misham felt like he was being watched. And you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves?
Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane.
I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago.
But I felt it too. Journalist sure he's being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Grandma got dropped out of the 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from my courtroom. Then, for 7 years, he talks to no one, not at all. Then, just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made.
And then he dies.
It's time to put the pieces together, are we?
And you were being watched this whole time?
Maybe not just me. Maybe you were too.
Me?
I met Zach through that case, actually.
You mean the shooting of Magnifique Garmaillet?
No, before that. Is that widely known?
You mean the accident? During the quick draw shoot-in practice?
My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite a scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, woman, a little puppy, over me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled fresher mint than they do now.
Even more mint? Ew. Violent Garmaillet did mention one particularly nosy reporter.
In fact, I was in close speaking terms with Magnifique Garmaillet at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. Telessa was it.
Really?
Then Telessa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnifique wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy, end quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with Telessa's husband, see?
Zach Garmaillet.
Something strange was in the air over Troop Garmaillet in those days. The whole screwy mentor-controlling disciple scene started by Dan, I'm guessing. Telessa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me off the record.
Sorry, I don't know.
Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice, or 5 times. But over time, he came to see me as his confidant. He's been waiting this whole time. 7 years, eh?
Waiting?
For his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnifique miracle. Of course, it was all a dream.
Because of this. The performance rights.
In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valen?
So Valen waited until Zach died, legally at least.
Time finally comes and Valen's like a kid on Christmas morning.
He's getting ready for a show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know?
If that document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damp on the big show.
He's a sorry one, that Van and Grandma Yi. Lost out to his partner at work, and in love too. Love? It's the same old story, really. 2 disciples and a mentor's only daughter. What is 3 sites and all of them whiny? A love triangle. That is pretty classic. When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing. And in the middle of all this, Thalassa is Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa. Don't we always? Mr. Burchell, do you know this person? Do I know that person? Of course. I was friends with Zach, after all. He hit me a few times. 5 times, actually. Still, I'd never forget his wife. Thalassa Grandma Yi. Magnifi Grandma Yi's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her? Well, why the heck not? So, Thalassa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her second marriage, actually. You mean she was divorced? I heard this one before. Not quite. Her late husband was a performer too. Apparently he died during some gig. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year. I didn't know. Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know why? Why? Do you, of all people, carry a portrait of... Okay. I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. She's got you for family, after all. What do you mean? Just reminiscing, you know? Thalassa has another child besides Trucy. End quote. What? But Trucy said she was an only child. Yes, this one she had with her previous husband. Her previous husband? The first husband who died during a performance. Yep, they had themselves a kid. Another orphan. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now. Let's have another child. Do you think I could borrow that photo? Sure, I can be generous on occasion, you know? Thank you. I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget. People and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Did you think? I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think. Maybe so, but still. Oh, thank you for your posture check. Oh, very weak posture check. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next. Next, you say? I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently that's not my role anymore. Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this. What do you mean? Have you seen it in Trucy? He's got his power. You mean how I can't lie to Trucy? What's the same with Magnifi? And with his daughter, Thalassa. It's a strange thing. You think it's some Grandma Yi gene? Magnifi told me once, back when Zack married Thalassa. He said Zack had good eyes. But not good like a Grandma Yi's eyes. Not that good. I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Grandma Yi's secret was? Maybe nobody, now that Zack's gone. Zack Grandma Yi. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It started from a warp in the Grandma Yi fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Grandma Yi's power. A power which passed from Magnifi Grandma Yi to Thalassa to the next generation, and I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Someone tell you your posture's bad and you start cracking your finger. My posture is bad. I know it is. Alright. Let's hit this guy. We're gonna finish
unlocking all of these. And then we're gonna finish the game next time. Because that final trial is long. I have to know more about this power of true saves. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you. Yeah, gotta use the resources at hand, I always say. Yet I myself have no such power. But Trucy does. Why is that? Maybe Trucy got her power from her mother, Thalassa Grandma. I will not speak of that. Thalassa's officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. Let's see. Because you guys accidentally shot her. The three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet there's another story behind the frame. One that not many know. Thalassa lost her life during a rehearsal. To you and Val and Grandma Ye's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. How would I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Valen would say the same thing. Why, it's just like another murder I might mention. Damn you. Her eyes. I loved Thalassa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. And yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She's dead and Magnifique Grandma Ye's joined her. So the only one with her power left now is Trucy. Mr. Zack. I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So there's someone else. Someone other than Trucy. Someone who inherited Thalassa's power. How would I know? My chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There's someone else with the power, and I know who. This boy. His name is... I forgot, something weird. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So, what are we to make of this oh great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys all you like, but you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa. Actually, it's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory? I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How'd you know this? Her first husband. He died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined us Grandma Ye's as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They're Grandma Ye family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where the other one went. She gave it to this boy, her son. Yeah, there we go. The strange power. I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it's passed down the Grandma Ye line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. The power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they became tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it. Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all.
she wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension, without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects. Wait, what is something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of a power could a bracelet have? I've made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Oh boy. I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. Keep this in mind for future games, because Capcom does not seem to remember after this game, just saying. This is like, big reveal, wow, what? They are? No way. No one cares after this point anymore. I'm sorry. And the brother too has this power of this. So Trucy is an older brother. I wonder what will come of that. Mr. Wright, tonight after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt, once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got to be so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something? Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of the wearer's wrist. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Grama-Yi power reacts to tension in others. When a Grama-Yi senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscle. So minutes... No, that's not how you say that. So minute? Oh, I hate the English language. They cannot sense it on their own. It's that word that you don't pronounce, like minute. The other one. Like lead and lead. I hate it. The muscles. Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With the bracelet on, one can sense these contractions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. No, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it. So, basically, what you're saying is the Grama-Yis can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing, it is knowing. The power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? Or something. Precisely. But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. You're talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus a soul elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things Grama-Yi. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? I said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Magnifique Grama-Yi, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifique's test. A test? In his last years, Magnifique Grama-Yi worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You showed well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? You're my mentor. Ha! I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? Then, of course, I would have given Valent his chance. And if I had shot you in the forehead instead? Then it would be over. If you or Valent were to shoot me in the hand, then I to the darkness would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Yet this ending too gives me no cause or regret. I thank you, Zack. And I'm sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day. It seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be his successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valent's. Perhaps, but it's not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valent up to these days? Oh, preparing his return. Waiting for you to die. If 7 years pass like this, the performance rights go to him. And now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing. You know? What? You don't mean to tell me they've put the blame for our mental death on him. The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valent had helped you pull it off. That's madness. Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated? Even though I'm dead. Well, don't worry, my guy. You're gonna die after this night anyway. That night, Zack Ramaye was killed. He died as Shadi Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. To whom it may concern, 7 years past, I, Zack Ramaye, murdered my mentor Magnifi Ramaye. I apologize for the trouble caused by my sudden departure from Fort and hereby confess to my crime. What? His confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner Valent Ramaye. To whom it may concern is a crazy way to start your confession about having murdered someone. Even if it's not the truth, you know? Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valent. 7 years, has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. Also, he is aware that we're Trucy's legal guardian, so technically, if he wanted to visit Trucy, he's just lucky he hasn't run into us so far. I've spoken to the press, I have nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you. I've walked a difficult road these past 7 years. Because you couldn't perform Magnifi's repertoire? Do not be deceived. Valent's skill is the real deal. I do not require a mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it was my partner who showed me on my way. Zack Ramaye. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Zack Ramaye murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remember it as if it were only yesterday, and I remembered it as if it were only 10 minutes ago. Yet that was not the way of it in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner Zack vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said. I had no idea. Yet the very same press comes to me now feigning interest. Over the greatest magic show in history as if it were vaudevillian destruction. And here must I stand smiling at them all. What am I if not a player in some fiendish farce? Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Magnifi's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here to get the answer from. Which is why I came here to get the answer from you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's easy. I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. That sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago. Alright. Let's get this guy. Ask what you will, you get nothing from me. I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happens. 7 long years I've endured. Now finally the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles are true within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valent, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should shake things up. Valent, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this. It's so funny. I should start by dropping a bomb. Okay. Jesus Christ. This. And what might that be? I see, Best Grandma, you see. I should have brought this to your attention sooner, but I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnifi's miracles. What? That Grandma Yi, he wrote this? But he passed everything to his daughter? Trucy Enigma, actually. She's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous. Zack is gone. Vanished into the void. This is a genuine article. Zack was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and a notary can testify to this. It kind of sucks to be this guy, but like, at this point, we all know that he's the one who killed Magnifico. So I don't feel that sorry. Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived in a thrall to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Magnifi. Yes, it was Zack. It was. And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say, if you could prove Zack Grandma Yi shot Magnifi? Was that why you testified? Yes, my way out. It should have been my way out. Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valent. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Magnifi Grandma Yi? I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. Zack Grandma Yi wrote one more thing before passing on. But this is a confession, in which he admits to the killing of Magnifi Grandma Yi. See? All according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I've wrought upon myself. Zack wrote this right in front of me, after I explained your situation to him. Yup. Isn't that funny? You do know that this confession is nothing but lies. Of course I do. Yes, it's my opinion that Zack Grandma Yi killed no one. Then you must be thinking the truth is a simple matter of elimination. You received instructions to kill, but what if one is innocent? Then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So he vanished to protect me, his partner. A staring tale, this true. Did you shoot Magnifi Grandma Yi in the forehead? If I hadn't I told you, what would you do? Run to the police, perchance? Do as you will. There's nothing left for me now. It is true, after all. I have little talent. I needed my Meta Magnifi's repertoire. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So when Grandma Yi did kill the great Magnifi. So sorry, Mr. Wright, but it was not I who shot my mentor.
What?
But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There wasn't another disciple, was there? Another disciple such as? I don't know. Knack and Tell and Grandma Yi, maybe? Your wild fancies couldn't be further from the truth. Only Zack and Valen received those threatening letters. But there was another. One more person could have fired that pistol that night. I don't suppose you figured it out by now. If it wasn't Zack or Valen who shot Magnifi, then it had to be the only other person at the scene, which means... Wait, you don't mean... Yes, the great Magnifi Grandma Yi himself. So Magnifi Grandma Yi committed suicide. How would you shoot yourself? Like... Okay. You find it hard to believe. To be honest, I hadn't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived that night, the old man was still alive. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him. But when I turned and made to leave the room, the old man called out to me. So you spoke with Magnifi Grandma Yi? Yes, and this is why I knew what he had done. Magnifi transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner Zack Grandma Yi, not me. I see. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of murder. What? Your crime? Is Valen Grandma Yi confessing something to me? What could be more serious than murder? You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find out. No, I was just thinking from how we had seen the thing. I was just like, if he had shot himself, how did they so perfectly put the gun here? But like, that's not the most out there. It's an Ace Attorney game. I genuinely don't remember. That was when I understood Magnifi's plan. He wanted to die by one of your hands. Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. The little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon? Let me confess, I had intended to shoot Magnifi. And I planned on framing my partner for the crime. What? That night, I prepared something before going to Magnifi's hospital room. Which was? IV fluid, of course. I'd seen it on an earlier visit. If Zack did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then I would use the IV liquid to place the murder on his hands. That was my plan. But you didn't shoot him. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came. But then Magnifi called me back. I'm sorry, Valent. I'm giving my magic to Zack, not you. You still lack the draw he has. Please help him if you can. I left the room. And then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard that fateful gunshot. Magnifi Grandma Yi killing himself. Then the demon awoke anew within me. Zack killed him, he was the one. Frame him, and the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of his suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints. Then I used a syringe to add the IV liquid I brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnifi died, and you framed Zack for his murder. As planned, indeed. Yeah. Sometimes it is just that simple. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I had anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it be believed truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe, but... yes. I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valent. Thank you. It is I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave me. My friends, my performance rights, my magic. I've had enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by a dead man. But I find I was wrong. Zakra Ye was alive. Oh, not anymore. And now it occurs to me, what if he was not the only one who survived? What do you mean? You see, now that I think about it, I realize that we never saw proof of her demise. We never saw her body. Her? The mind races and the mouth flaps on. My apologies. Forget this matter. I can only hope that the day will come when I again meet my partner Zakra. Then I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. Zakra Shadi Smith, whichever name you prefer, he's no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver, and the impenetrable darkness that remained has taken another life. I knew what I'd have to do to push back the darkness for good, and it would involve paying that man a visit. That man! One more time. One more time. Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied. I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Well... Could you go find out? Certainly, sir. Please wait here a moment. My apologies for the guards, but there's something I need to say. There it is, the yellow envelope. And the sender is Drew Misham. I was right. Yeah. It's all coming together. If this is the last letter that Drew Misham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here goes. Let's see if this atrocanine spray finds anything. So this was Drew Misham's messenger of death. It was a stamp, alright, no mistaking it. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. Interview request came like you said it would, and they're looking into the case. I swear on my life I won't tell them about you, so please release the spell you've put on my daughter. I'll write later with a report. Finally, decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar in jail. Hi, Gavin. I didn't know you moonlighted in larceny, right? Gavin, there's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Misham hasn't received her verdict yet. You follow me, Gavin? There are no known survivors of atrocanine poisoning, but it never hurts to hope. Okay. I'm leaving now then. Right, wait. Yeah, Gavin. Would you mind leaving the letter? It's private. Oh, sorry. Forget I had it. Many thanks. What the fuck is happening? We've now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7 long years. Now it is time. Every story has an ending. We come to the final chapter, the final trial, which technically isn't that long, but actually playing it, I think, is gonna be too long. Find the truth. You're the only ones who can. But not today. Not today. Wait. Thank you for the pad. Because the thing is, yes, there's not that much left technically, but also every time I underestimate how long like the last case in an Ace Attorney game is going to be, it's like another 2 hours. So no. Thank you for listening. No, thank you for coming. We will finish this game soonish.
Or as soon as I possibly can. Because we do have our... We do have all of our clues, yes. We do know who we need to get, it's just... how are we gonna do that? But that is something for next time. For now, I'm gonna send you guys over to Cell, who's playing some Lobotomy Corporation. I cannot talk anymore. Thank you so much for coming by. We also went slightly over time. For now, have a very, very good night. I'll see you all soon.
And bye bye. Bye bye bye.